you guys got me thinking about an intro. Fucking assholes.
So I have on our outline here basically. Just
no, I have it all written here. Oh, okay. So I have all the questions.
Is it the one that I sent you? Did you send it?
I like how you guys come here. You're like, we're going to tell you how to do this.
Well, I'm structured. The hardest part, and
you
Jeff
can't
knows
be.
this.
You got to surrender, bro.
I'm so regiment on everything. So that's
where's that come from?
I don't even know.
Like upbringing? Do you think it was like?
Household was always structured, but I do believe maybe getting to the military then of just getting into there and seeing what structure was.
And when did you get in there? When did you get?
17.
And what? No, you didn't get to the military in 2017, did you?
No, when I was 17.
Oh, okay.
So 2001.
Was it after 9/11?
Pre 9/11. So quick story. You know what's crazy?
Sorry, Jeff. We're going to talk real quick.
So summer of
know your role.
2001. School's ending. I'm a junior.
Holy shit! Like literally like a month before 9/11.
100%. So I'm a junior. It's maybe May. It's June, and our family's broke. Like we have nothing. College I want to attend. However, I hope. My mother comes home one day and she's like, "I met a recruiter today." I'm like, "Recruiter for what?" You know? She's like, "Oh, that's National Guard. Sergeant White was his name." You remember the photo I took? I got a photo with him. It's on my Facebook. Re-met him this year. Yeah. But anyway, he comes over, talks, and I kind of was like, what's going on? And my mother was like, it's free college. Like, this can help you. Let's listen to what they have to say. Because outside
the Army?
For the National Guard.
Okay.
Right over town at the Watchers Armory.
Okay.
So you got to think the last time they deployed as a unit was World War II.
Never once would you think, oh.
So we had thought in this moment, my mother was like, this can help you. You can get paid every month, free education. And she's like, grandpa was in the service. You know what I mean? So her father. So listen to him sit down, but there were sign-on bonuses. And again, his pitch always was, no one has deployed since World War II. So like, all right, you know what? For a poor family that we are, here's an option. You know what I mean? So I signed up July 6th, 2001. And it was all great. You know what I mean? But it was this brand new.
So you literally signed up like 2 months before 9/11.
100%. So when
Were you in basic yet?
No. So you sign up like, I believe my mom, because she was sole custody, she had to sign too because I wasn't even 18. But it was like, here's something to look forward to.
Right.
This can help you. You can definitely get to college. Money won't be a thing. So then when you get to 9/11, here I am as a senior sitting in Scranton High. You know what I mean?
You're a senior when 9/11 hit.
A senior. So 18 now.
So May,
correct.
June, you're going to go.
So I'm literally sitting in class and all of a sudden like chaos starts breaking out in school. Chaos as in chatter.
Yeah.
You know, people are talking and everything. Teachers are getting a little nervous. And we're on school like, what the heck's going on? Like, what? Is there something going on outside?
Yeah.
So they turn the TV on and all of a sudden there's, Tower 1 is hit.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God. How did someone fly into it? And then Tower 2 literally happens. And that way,
you're watching, yeah.
I'm telling you, without being, I'm in my seat and I'm sinking in my chair because I'm literally sitting there like, we're going to war.
Yeah.
I already knew, like, there was no, people might have lied to themselves, but I'm telling you, as a guy who just signed up, I sat there going, it's all going to change.
Yep.
Everything you thought. And I'm sinking in my chair. But kind of just had to embrace it. Got through the year, went to basic 3 days after graduating high school. So there was no senior week. There was no hangout. It was like ship out 5 months, go to Oklahoma, went to Fort Bliss in El Paso, Texas. And that was awesome. Like that was such a cool chapter. To further and end that, my buddies, 3 of them local signed up with me. Andy Gall, like Pat Barrett, Joe Jake. So they all signed up local. We all go to Oklahoma together. Wild. So we went from Scranton, PA to Oklahoma and did that. Then they were seniors. So they came home. I went to Texas. And then when it came time to deploy, me and Joe Jakes went over.
Now, where'd you go?
That's when we went to Iraq in January of 2004. So when you get past basic, come home, still shook up of like, war's active.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's going on 2003, like Afghanistan.
I think we're bombing Afghanistan by like
Afghanistan
October.
Was hot and heavy.
October 2001, I think we started.
So Afghanistan was heavy. Iraq was coming.
I think Iraq was 2003.
2003 of March.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember that.
So then we're about to get into
I was
that.
at Tinks when they started
I
bombing.
was at Diehl
Yeah,
and
I
Francesco's
missed
and
Tinks.
music.
Were you really?
Spill some for Tinks.
It was the best.
So get into 2003 and it's the same thing. Like got into school for a semester, you're hanging out with your buddies and you got to Halloween night. And I never forget, we were by Nativity Church, me and all my buddies. And we were like kicking rocks. We're doing dumb stuff. And you get a phone call from the patrol sergeant. And it's like, why is he calling?
Yeah.
He doesn't call. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's Chert Kalinsky. And he's like, Diehl, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, I don't know, nothing. Try not to tell him we're out like doing, hood stuff in Southside.
Hood rats with
And he's like,
friends.
well, I got to give you a heads up. He's like, this is the Frago alert. He's like, if we're going, it's in January. And it's like,
It's 3 months away.
going where?
Yeah.
Are we going on vacation? And it's like, no, hey, we're going to Baghdad at this point. But we'll let you know. So then Thanksgiving, a month later, was the, hey, we are definitely going. Get ready, 6 weeks out. We're going to Fort Indiantown Gap to Fort Dix, and then we're going. So it was that quick. Like, got back home from basic training. Well, that quick of signed up, 9/11, basic training, and then we were going.
That's crazy.
So it was wild. So that's kind of maybe what stems some of the regiment.
It's crazy how like there's a generation of kids now that aren't like they don't get that.
They don't even know.
Yeah.
They have no idea of what was witnessed or even the patriotism.
Oh, right after 9/11?
Like that was phenomenal. I mean,
Never forget that stuff.
there's
I hated George Bush.
Yep.
Hated him. But I had that flag of him, or I had that picture of him on 9/11 with the first responders.
Awesome.
When he went down to visit.
awesome.
It was like 4 days after, and he's like, I hear you, and the people that hit these buildings will
Yep.
hear you. And we were all like, fuck yeah.
I share that every year on 9/11. So Facebook, I have that video.
I still hated him, but I thought that was a good moment.
That was I share that every year. My favorite. You know what I mean? Like I can't hear you, and dude,
Yep.
that's still probably my favorite George W. moment to this. day.
So how old are you? Are you comparatively the same age?
He's a little older. I'm 40.
You're 4.
Yeah.
How old are you?
42.
I'm the oldest one here. This sucks. This fucking sucks. So I didn't know we were going to get into all that, but
That's okay though. But when you get into regiment, I would say at a young age got introduced to got to be somewhere, got to be on time, got to be dressed a certain way. You know what I mean? So I think that still carries
But there are some
over.
people I'm friends with a lot of military guys, and there's some of them on the periphery that are like, there is no structure still. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There are some military guys who are just like, yeah, I don't care. I'll show up when I show up. And
I mean, I was that way for a bit though, of like get there when I get there. But
yeah.
life goes on. Like even him today, like I'm hounding him, or I'm like, not to disrespect you. It's like we got to get to you. You know,
Disrespect him.
you know what I mean? Like we set up a time and stuff. So I'm always big now on if, especially it's for somebody else. If it's on my schedule and I'm late for myself, so be it.
Yeah.
Was I always that way? No, but I think that structure of like my day is planned before I live it, which is most of people our age. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? 20 years ago, maybe not so much, but that's why we gave you like, here's an outline of stuff. And it was not to be like, I don't know how you do it. But
No.
it was
I
also
was just breaking your balls.
But part of me gets that way of like, I'll get off track and I may never get back on track. So for
No,
me,
that's
it's
my
easy
job.
to be
I pull
like,
you back.
where's my cheat code at?
Right. So what's your origin story?
I'm not really sure I have much of an origin story. I'm born and raised in West Side up on West Mountain.
Are you a West Sider?
Yeah, I'm
You
West
bleed
Side.
blue, bro.
We got to throw the W up.
Top
Yeah.
The hidden
We all do. We all know.
Throw the W up.
Yep.
I'll age myself as well. I went to Bishop Hannon in 2003. Born and raised on the hidden block of Washburn Street, all the way above Kaiser.
Dude, I live on Cornell.
Okay.
Yeah, over by Main Avenue by St. Anne's Church.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
That's like one of the only nice areas of West Side still.
You could see the pestilence coming.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Me and my uncle we had that discussion at Christmas time. How like one of the only nice areas of West Side is still like over by Orm Street. Like,
We did. So when I used to live in LA, and when I came, like I was gone for a couple years and came back, and then when I drove on Main Ave from the expressway, it was like, oh, this is what happened.
Well,
that's how I am when I come in from Texas every month. It's like I'm starting to see the dilapidation get worse. As you go.
You can notice it, right?
Yeah, like my aunt lives on Swetland Street, like above Sumner High School.
Yeah.
Or grade school, and it's like
You could see it.
Hold on. Yeah.
But it's the crazy thing. Like I do a lot of political stuff, and I always tell people, they're like, it's like when you do marketing or advertising, it's like you can put the billboard up, but it's just like the pothole. Like the first time you hit the pothole, you notice it. and then you'll never notice it again.
Yeah.
You know? And so when you see like your town going weird, the people who live here get used to it.
It's true.
And they get used to it real fast.
And as someone who's kind of an outsider, because, you know, I don't live here, it's just like, you know, I see it, and I see trends on, you know, when I am on social media, I see trends and stuff like that. And when I do visit,
I call them signals. You can see signals.
Exactly.
It means something.
No. You're right. It's like, I see different things happening. I see, you know, I see different announcements from, like, you know, the county commissioners and from the you know, the mayor and stuff like that. And it's not the Scranton that my mom and dad grew up in the 70s, 80s.
It's not even the one we grew up in.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
it's different.
It's
you know?
not.
It's not getting better.
It's
no. And a lot of it's coming from out of state buying.
Yeah.
Like they're buying houses in cash. So I mean, it's all changing too.
Well, they're turning it into like this renter's market, and when you turn it into that, like,
and it wasn't that way, especially in neighborhoods that were like Taylor, especially Old Forge. Like those houses didn't go for sale. Like if you were selling your house, like a friend bought it, a family member.
Sure,
it stayed within your network. I'll say,
yeah,
you know, and I don't want that to be taken the wrong way of network, but in your family, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't an outsider coming in.
It was always somebody like it was almost like, I know who I'm. It's
correct.
Like cars, man. You want to sell it to the guy who's
right.
going to take care of the car.
That's right. It's like who's gonna who will enjoy this and actually not drive it in the snow.
Funny story about that. So I've had lots of vehicles over the past, you know, since I got my license in 2002. And, you know, I always get made fun of for it significantly.
You get made fun of for driving?
If you knew
some bad driving.
If you knew the list of vehicles that I've had, you would, you know, and the joke is that I get them and I keep them for a couple of years and then I sell them at a loss, and, you know, it's Squier math, as he calls it.
Squier math.
Yeah.
Squier math.
But there's like a trend when I sell a car. If I have something cool, within a year, it's totaled. I had a,
like within a year of you selling it to that person,
correct.
They total it.
I had a gorgeous red Corvette Z06 that I sold. Guy texted me about 3 months ago. He's like, "Hey, can you send me the mod list?" I'm like, "Sure, what's going on?" He sends me pictures of it. Destroyed.
Is this because people like
don't know how to drive?
So when I was growing up, right, my dad was a hardcore motorhead, right? Drag racer, goes every weekend. He's been doing that since I was a kid. He just retired. He told me over a Caesar salad, which I couldn't believe.
Oh,
he goes, "Yeah, I think I'm done." And I'm like, "Mother, this is your whole life. Like, what do you mean you think you're done?"
Yeah,
but so like since I was growing up, like he had like the split window Corvette.
Wow,
that's
big money.
And he would drive it around town with slicks on it. Like
so, kind of guy.
Yeah, so Main Ave and West Side in like the late 60s, early mid 70s.
Sounds like what my dad would do.
It was all like, it was like what was that movie that George Lucas did with the cars? Shit. It's like a famous movie. I can't believe I'm not going to remember it right now. American Graffiti.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like that. So my dad, like, I've always been around cars. Like, I know what camshafts are. I know what distributor caps are. I know all of it. Right. And it just never like interested me in the way that like it interests a lot of people. So what was it about like cars that you guys were like, even at a young age, you're like, this is like porn for me?
So my thing is like, it wasn't performance. So like growing up, I was
it's all about aesthetics. It's all about the looks and not the brain.
The look.
Not even.
Yeah.
This is interesting.
She's hot, but she's dumb.
No comment. So
don't ask her anything. Just look at her.
So, you know, growing up, I was always a computer guy, and that, you know, evolved into my career, which I do now. And, you know, I got really big into car audio, and then I turned 17.
I was big in that in the 90s. Yeah.
And then I turned 17, and, you know, for my 17th birthday, I had a 91 Pontiac Grand Prix, four-door car. It was a gorgeous car. And, you know, for 17th birthday, my dad took me over to Gemma's in West Side.
Yep.
You know, and
I know exactly.
God, I forgot all about that.
He dropped about $500 on me because I had an old Clarion radio from my sister's Lumina, got 2 Memphis 12s in an amp, and I was bumping. And that whole summer,
wait, you had 12-inch?
Two 12-inch Memphis subs in a sealed box.
That's obscene.
And a Memphis power reference amp, right? And, you know, back then I thought I was the boss.
You'd be like 3 blocks out here. You're coming.
Exactly.
You feel it first.
Yes.
My old man used to, like, you know, you'd say, "Oh, when you're coming home at night, make sure you turn that off like 3-4 blocks away, blah, 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 blah." And then it just kind of evolved. You know, like I got rid of that car. I stayed for a love of that platform. Like, and you could talk about, I mean, obviously I love Grand Prix, Monte Carlo. I just love that platform. They're very reliable. They're very, just safe cars. And then I got like a 2000 Monte Carlo, a 97 Monte Carlo. And then like the big thing I always did was systems. Like, a single 15 getting 2000 watts, upgrading the electrical system.
Dude,
I got into car audio.
You could feel it in your chest already. Just close your eyes.
I got into car audio systems or like car audio competitions. I was going to, Iasca down in New York. I was winning first place in my class with cars that had like.
But you're installing and wiring and running the power and all that, aren't you?
Mostly.
Yeah.
I had a lot of help from the road shop up at Circuit City. I worked there. And,
okay.
That's
right. They used to do like the car stereo installs and all that.
And I stayed friends with one of their installers, and he helped me out a lot back in the day, and he still does to this day. I'm not really into it right now, just because I don't really have a platform for it right now, and it's not really the way I'm going with my cars.
Car enthusiasm.
Currently now,
Current build.
I say that currently, but audio is how I got into it, and then once we started everything with Street Scene, and I feel like a lot of car people do this when they're younger. Like once you get that first job out of college and you're making adult money, that's when you start really having a problem, and you start buying your first toy, which happened to me, and then it was all over, and then I had it in the back of my mind what I wanted, which was actually going way back, planted from meeting him the first time, and I'll never forget that night. You probably don't even remember that, but I do.
Was there baby oil? Oh, sorry.
Tons.
No,
Lots.
no,
was Diddy there?
No, P.
Was
Diddy.
Diddy?
Yep, baby oil. Yep, and a goat.
Bad Boy Records. That was our first club name.
We used to, and we still do this sometimes. We'd have our random parking lot meets. And we were parked actually behind Ollie's.
Oh, in Kaiser?
Kaiser. Yeah, Kaiser was big.
This was like 2007. And a lot of the people that were there.
And you've already been to war.
Yeah, I was home. I came back middle of 05. Yeah.
I remember I was there. I had my white Monte Carlo. A few of my friends were there who are just, I think I worked with them at Circuit City, or they're just people that I've known forever who just, grew up and just don't do it anymore. And I remember this black F-body Camaro, loud as hell, pulled in, followed by a silver Mazda Miata convertible. And this big, jacked, tough-looking dude gets out of the Camaro, right? And I go over, and I'm just like looking at the Camaro, and I'm like, wow, damn. And I was awkward as hell. I didn't know how to
talk to people.
And I'm just like,
what do I do with this mouth?
I had an obsession for the F-body Camaro. I always wanted a red SS that gen,
right?
Red SS, anniversary, whatever they call it. And then that's really how I got into wanting a V8. And then I eventually got one. And then me and him became friends through things, and that kind of lays the foundation for the history of how we started Street Scene and stuff like that. So
you guys are the ones who started NEPA Street Scene.
There was
back in the day.
Yeah,
there was a few of us.
Because I remember back in the day,
there was a group.
Okay, you were part of the founding of.
Correct.
Yeah,
I would say that. Yeah.
And
because that's where him and I started, but we were different. I'll say, and we'll get into that in a quick thing of where he's modified through stereo and style. Mine was kind of the opposite.
Performance
related. Of getting started. The earliest memory I can remember of cars was the book library days and getting the Lamborghini Countach picture.
Oh yeah.
Earliest one is having the white
old school drag racing books.
And just that. So I always remember went from that into pictures of my father's GTO, other stuff. So always knew cars existed. NAOG, right? The Father's Day started around the time we got driver's licenses.
Oh, did it really?
I think it was around 2000, right?
How about they kicked him out of NAOG?
That's
terrible. I know.
And they just never.
Isn't that crazy?
It is.
Isn't that crazy?
We'll touch on that because I even tried to help them this year with the phone call, and they didn't run with it.
Yeah.
But
who did you call?
So we were doing.
No, do you know what happened there?
No, I heard it was Geisinger, right?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I heard it was Geisinger from the hospital.
I heard that it was, and again, this could all be hearsay.
They run our park, or is it the parking?
I think it has to do with the noise, because there's that small section, that they had the car show at for years, and then Geisinger comes, and as Geisinger's doing, they bought
everything.
They're like the University of Scranton. They're just buying things, whatever.
Thank God we're a nonprofit, so we don't have to pay taxes.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Yeah. Hold on.
And then, they, from what I heard, it has to do with noise, exhaust engines and all that kind of stuff. And probably even maybe foot traffic. And
so after all these years, now it's a problem?
Well, Geisinger's new
though.
Geisinger was new.
Well, it's Kaiser Permanente bought it now.
When it was CMC, I don't think it was an issue. And again, like I said,
we could be wrong.
I could be completely wrong. This is just from what I heard through the grapevine.
It's Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, man. We're not fact checking anybody. We're not like yeah.
But then they
I don't care if they're wrong.
They moved across to the other side, and I went a couple of years ago, and it was good. It was a good turnout, but it was nothing like the first, when they had it on the other side.
It wasn't as intimate.
The vibe wasn't there.
When you had the old setup, you were around. It was called an oval or a circle. When you went to the new one, they had some parked alongside the pool area, not the pool, but like the fence area.
Yeah.
Then across from it, and then the road wraps around.
But you'd walk around all Naog.
You could. I just think it's separated. Where you could walk down the middle of that circle, and you're around this whole, circle of cars.
Yeah.
The new layout had some as a rectangle here, around the corner. Oh, down this huge dirt hill. So it just separated all the cars.
Oh yeah, where they put the pavilion. You have to go down there.
So I think.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it was a bad spot, but I think you lost that. Everybody's around you.
Yeah.
You really had to walk around, and if you didn't walk around, you didn't see all the cars. And I guess you could argue that both
but you know
ways.
what? Like the thing that pisses me off, it's like one of those things where it's like 364 days a year you're pissed at your dad.
Yeah.
But on that day you go and everyone's like happy.
And
it's true.
It's funny. I remember 2012 I went, and my father passed away in 2012, and my dad was an OG car guy in the 60s.
Yeah.
Everyone knew him. And then, I had a 2009 Pontiac G8 there, and I had it at the show, and I had my, the thing on my dash that had my name, and I had people coming up to me saying, "Oh, you're Ray Squier's son. I work with him," or "You're Ray Squier's son. I remember him from, the Village Ice Cream Parlor back in the 60s, or, I remember him from so-and-so back in the day." And that was just very...
That's awesome.
Just awesome. Exactly.
Yeah.
And it still happens. You know what I mean? If I, when I was living here last year, I'd bring my car to a show or something like that, have my name on the dash. Some, old timer would come up and say, "Hey, I knew your dad," or something like that. Yeah.
And that's beautiful, because it's like, that's part of the thing where like people don't understand, because it's a lot of the times like it's not about, like it is about like the performance and the look and the cool and all that stuff. But ultimately it's about connection.
And you know what? The connection thing, and the connection thing is fading for one word: clout.
Really?
Social media, 100%.
Clout. Social media is, in my opinion, ruining this, because you have people that are just click farming. They just want everyone is.
Every time you say something like click farming, you have to explain that to people who don't know what click farming is.
People are just making videos trying to, get clicks on their likes.
I like that, like the hot chicks who don't look that hot in real life like that. The illusion of life.
But they're link in bio.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
And then
but that's it.
You're so right, bro. You're so right.
But it's all for just, I don't know, like that short fame, like he's saying. Like it's so much about follow me, or make my car page follow me, make my car show page follow me. And
when did you start noticing this? When did you start noticing like, oh, it's losing the humanity of it?
I would say, gosh, because the stance world came in what? 2012.
That came in
What's the stance world?
So stance, so stance became a thing of, let me go back up a little bit. So as we met, I pull out the Camaro and I'm going down that performance road, which was my normal. Where I had stereos prior to meeting Jeff. But when I went down the Camaro world, it became performance oriented. How fast can I go?
Right.
And for me, it was always drag racing. So it was never about autocross. It was how fast can I go, blah, blah, blah. So weight mattered. I didn't want the weight of boxes and stuff. But him and I traveled the same road, where I was more performance than style. He was more style than performance. But we did cross over, because we'd buy carbon fiber stuff like I would, but never to the extent of Jeff. So through the early car scene days together, or even street scene days together, we're having this style performance. And most of our crew at that time, because we were more of a car club then, was that way. It was more performance based. We went to the drag strip every 3 weeks almost.
Yep,
we'd make trips
it's
out
like
to Island.
Your car's in Bondo, but like it crushes it on the quarter mile.
No,
we never had that.
Always everything, no rust like other crews had back in the day. Some guys thrived on it. We were always painted body parts, wheels, tires, like
clean stuff.
We still did full builds. And today kids aren't doing that. But we'll get to stance. I don't want you to think I forgot. But Today's kids aren't doing even full builds. They're just putting a tune on it. They're throwing an intake on it. Suspension doesn't matter. Tires don't matter.
Like that, yeah.
Yeah, $300 coilover systems. Like, it's crazy of, fake carbon fiber parts that they're buying and bashing each other on. But
what's fake carbon? Is it
someone
just
else
plastic?
someone else brought that up once. Yeah, they think they're buying the real thing and they're not, but then they're saying it's the real thing.
Are they buying parts?
Yeah,
on Temu?
Wish.com or carbon fiber. So real builds stopped happening. Okay. Sadly. But in the stance moment, we're doing this performance and style. Most people are. Then all of a sudden it just got cool to where that's expensive. If you're buying intakes, exhaust, tunes, power adders like nitrous, superchargers, tire, suspension, you're thousands in.
Yeah.
So that gets expensive. You know what's not expensive? Putting a set of rims on it and lowering the car. So this stance vibe comes out from like, I'll say 11, maybe 2011.
What does stance mean?
You might define it better than I would.
You go to a car show, you go to a car meet, whatever. And, again, this is all subjective. Everyone has their own taste, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, you've seen these cars that have like these really, really tilty wheels. They're really low. And they're usually on air suspension. And usually they're aired out so they can like just park.
Park.
And it's hard to explain. If you honestly,
So why was it called stance though?
Because the way that the car has a specific.
Oh, it has like a stance.
Correct.
Stance, yeah.
Okay.
And it's the same where like guys will poke the wheels out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
to
yeah,
give
yeah.
it a better
a lot
stance.
Of times a lot of times they're like,
they're like towed out.
They're towed out.
Correct.
But, but there's also, in my opinion, there's a proper stance, like which my BRZ has, right? I have a 2022 BRZ that has a proper stance. I have, good, amazing fitting wheels on good coils, on good tires, and I have all that matching stuff. And it just looks very aggressive, from all angles. It handles good. It handles like a go-kart. So that's like a different kind of stance. But the stance we're talking about is just like a certain particular look that almost looks like the wheels don't fit.
A word we used to use in the day was we used to call some cars SEMA cars.
Yeah.
Because if you went to SEMA, you would air it out and it would drop down and the tires would tuck perfectly. So again, you did it to park it. You weren't trying to drive our roads here.
Right.
But then these guys got the bright idea of, I'm going to drive around like this. So you're just destroying tires.
But
this is stuff from like Snoop Dogg videos and shit, right?
Yeah, I would say it might have stemmed from there.
No, I mean, so I think some of that shit's badass, but
Again,
no, I do. Like, box Chevys on like 26-inch rims, like,
or even like 14-inch rims and
riding
the
on,
OG,
on 3 wheels and
right.
So again,
yeah,
that took over because that became in that moment, in our opinion or mine, it became easier to say I have suspension work, wheels, I tinted it, and it became like the new build list. So here's him and I like actually building legit fast cars, street cars.
Yeah, high performance vehicles.
That again could get inspected. They can go any garage and get inspected. You know what I mean? Had DOT legal drag radials or stuff. But here's us building legal cars and stuff you can practically use. We could drive to the beach tomorrow in it. And that just wasn't everyone's fit. That's even how the drift scene began. We had some guys that were going to shows with us. And it just honestly just gets too expensive for some people. So it's easier to build something even like a drift car where like you don't have to get it inspected.
Uh-huh.
You don't have to
it's
have
not
glass
legal,
windows.
Though?
Well, no, they only go to events for it. So they almost found a different route within the hobby of like still enjoying
How
cars.
much did Fast and the Furious screw this up?
I don't think it screwed it up.
I think that honestly, if anything, the Fast and the Furious, especially the first one, that started the car cult. If that movie was, if that
huge.
movie never happened, we wouldn't be sitting
So
here.
I think that's what, so again, when I mentioned before, like pictures of my father's vet, vet was later, but his GTO and stuff, that was always out there. But for me was going to the movies in 2001.
Yeah.
I had my first
V6
V6
it come out that year.
It did.
Yeah.
So that was even before everything. So same thing as I signed up, that was like
the last time
May or
America
something.
was good.
That's right.
Yeah,
FF1 was out.
Yeah.
So I remember going to that with my little V6 Camaro. Worked all summer the year before, made $1,500 and bought this car.
Yeah, my license
Ready for the boneyard, you know what I mean? But I remember going to that. And you already knew of street racing, but you didn't know of it in Scranton.
Right.
But you knew it existed in the bigger cities, Philly, New York, out west. And here's this movie that puts this huge spotlight on the culture. So it was already huge. You already had Nope, he was big. What was the big car magazine?
Sport compact car.
That's a sport compact car. So you already knew this life existed with magazines and other car shows. Again, that weren't in the area.
But it wasn't like prevalent across
so here's
America.
this spotlight that I remember leaving there, and it was like, I need a black fast car. Like that was I need something.
I need to outrun a train.
That's it. I got to beat that train coming. I left there at 17 just shocked of like, I got to get this. So when you fast forward to came home from Iraq in my shoes, you had all this money saved up for a 1.5 year deployment. It was like, I'm buying my dream car. And at that moment, it was an F-body Camaro. Was a Countach still up there? Sure. You can't get that at 21 years old. You know what I mean? So bought this black Camaro SS, and this was everything. And in that world, in that moment of 2005, 350 horsepower was beyond relevant. It was very fast. Cars are coming out with 100 horsepower. So it's not like today where you need 800 to be in the game.
Yeah.
That was something. You know what I mean? So I remember rolling up with that and modifying it. And it was like, for me, it was so like car life-changing of like have something extremely fast for the moment. And again, met Jeff through it, where Jeff was like something he looked up to as a car and wanted. His G8 came after that, but it was like made a friendship, and it was like you said, got the job, time to splurge, but had this Camaro, and it was just, how do I get to 10 seconds? How do I, I remember having it for 4 weeks, and I went to the track with it. Met this guy, Eddie Luco. We were street racing back in the day. We're friends today. Awesome guy. Like still one of my like very good, almost best friends today, I would say. And bet 20 some years ago, just street racing. You know what I mean? Like beat him down in Market Street Bridge, and hey man, we're going to the track next week.
You guys are racing over Market Street Bridge?
Wilkes-Barre was a huge, that was
really
Market Street in those moments. I'll say from 01, well, probably earlier than me, but I met it in 01, but 01 till 2008, that was huge.
I never even knew
that scene itself. I'll always wish that scene came back, because it was performance oriented. But guys, you would park and guys would talk.
Yeah.
That's what kind of even brought upon our culture of our meets, was because of that. You can go down there and park and people talked. It wasn't insulting. Like, we didn't even have cameras back then. The only memories I have are upstairs.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? There's
our cameras were LG VX6800.
There's nothing.
That had 1 megapixel.
But guys hung out, and it was that simple, where you would just go for a ride. If there were 200 cars parked between Blockbuster, Gateway, Kirby Park,
yep,
I'm telling you, at that moment, any given time, Market Street had probably 50 to 100 more. So you would just drive Market Street and you'd catch a race any light.
Why'd that stop?
Cops.
Well, so
just go,
it
cops.
did. So there was a crash.
Ironic.
I was. But back in the day, there was a fatal crash.
From that?
Yeah. So this is when it ended. I remember me and my boy Ethan.
So this must have been 2008-ish?
Ish. Me and my boy Ethan meet this kid. Just moved the area. Had a 3-valve Mustang GT. I always remember it. And I remember we were talking to a woman, this and that. Well, the next season comes. He's out with his car too early or too late. I forget if it was winter, beginning or end. I don't.
Right.
But he was out too late or too early in the year where it was cold, and he crashed and got killed. And that was it.
Like everybody stopped.
No, from that moment, then the police patrolling was huge. They'd be sitting in the car parking lots. They'd be sitting in the used lots, and it was over.
Did anybody complain for those years?
I'm sure they did.
Because like everybody knew.
But I would say by midnight, at 11 o'clock midnight, it always ended.
So you guys weren't out screwing around.
You kind of had from like 8 at night till about, I'll say 11. After that, it was like you were done. But those years, I mean, I've met so many people through those early years, still friends with today, whether they're car people or not. Because like you sell your car, but still friends with. Like those early years were awesome.
Were you doing that? Were you down in the Wilkes-Barre shit?
No, and I'll tell you, here's why.
He came down later through me.
I came down later through him, and I didn't get into performance until I got I bought a 2009 Pontiac G8 in late 2009, and honestly, I was always a little little afraid to do it on the streets because I grew up with a father that was a Scranton cop. So,
Right.
you know, it was always in the back of my mind, you know, I get
Man,
busted.
you guys are surrounded by law enforcement.
And my grandfather was a cop too. So, you know, it's like, I always had that in the back of my mind, you know, I could see having to make that phone call to my father and then him picking me up and giving me the cop voice. You know what
Well,
I mean?
my father in the 60s, I think it was the 60s and the 70s. Remember, do you know where North South Road is? It's parallel
Oh
to
my
Kaiser.
God.
Yes.
I spent nights there.
That
That
is-
was another hangout. When did we hang out there back in the day? 2009? I remember we spent a summer there with me and my buddies where we would have lawn chairs. We would post up and we would wait for cars to come and
I
race.
remember we would go back there.
Or get challenged to
We
race.
would
That
go
was a
back there
mood.
in like between 2003 and 2005.
I didn't know they were still doing shit there. I always thought the roads were too dangerous.
They were like
The railroad track dip was bad.
The tracks by Simplex definitely wasn't a quarter mile, but we would start right by where you come back there, by where the houses were.
Yeah.
And I just remember going back there with some of my friends, literally like 150, 200 horsepower cars, right? And we would park.
That's so true.
And we would park in the lots, like I think the one business is like one of the Garrity's.
Yeah.
Garrity's is down there,
You know,
yeah.
we would park there, right? Like, and we'd have spotters and stuff like that. And it was like,
Did you have like radios?
No.
no, we didn't. It was,
I don't even know how we did it, but he's right.
Some of us probably didn't even have cell phones. And I just remember us sitting there, right? And then we'd get like 1 or 2 runs in, and then the next thing you know,
You had to go.
we had to go because the Scranton police would show up, and we'd be going all different areas. Some of us would be going back to Kaiser, some of us would be going up West Mountain. I'd be going back.
So
to
it's
my
like
house.
roaches escaping light.
100%. Got to go.
Yeah.
I had a buddy that lived right back there by the baseball field, so it was like it was so much fun, and that's really how it got started, just going back North South Road. So yeah, and
that was a whole mood though.
Yeah,
like
it
that
was.
but we did the same where we used to shut it down before the tracks. So it was enough time to break. It was not a quarter mile. I bet it was 1,000 feet at best, but it was enough to where like there was a driveway as a U, and that's where we used to have an end car in person where when you hit them, you got, whether you're losing an inch or a mile, right? Like you got to shut it down.
And the thing too is,
you know what I
back
mean?
there is that like we would hang out in Garrity's. Like we would, like every single night we'd be sitting in Garrity's, right? There'd be like 20, 30 of us, right? And a lot of the people that do that are sometimes still around. A lot of them actually came to our show, and it was great seeing a lot of these faces that still are around, still have stuff, still support us, you know, still remember us.
Or they're spectators.
And
like
it's
they're
just
still
great. It's just great reconnecting with some of these people. And the thing is that like we'd be back there every single night, and the Scranton police would always roll through, and they would do it for one reason. They would just check on us to make sure that we're not causing trouble. They would talk to us. They would BS with us, right? And the problem is that if we weren't there, they knew where we were.
At north-south.
If we weren't there, they'd go back north-south. If we weren't back north-south, they would go back to Stauffer Industrial Park and check the Lollipop.
The Lollipop was big.
Back by where DPS Nutrition is back there.
Yep.
So
that was big.
And then, we had to
that
get
was
creative.
big. So our group prior to Jeff, that was big for me and my group back in 2003. That was a huge spot to go to. But you had the same thing. Go down the road, put spotters in the parking lots to make sure no tractor trailers pulled out.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
but you guys were doing it like in the most, like, it seems like the most safe way
It
possible.
was, but it's like you look back at it
shaking
now.
your head.
Well, you look back at it now and you're like, we got so lucky, And I've had these talks with my boy Ethan all the time, or my sister, and I'm sure Jeff too, where it's like, luckily through all those reckless years, and you're done. We're in 03. I don't know how old am I then? 19. You know what I mean? So you're taking life all for granted, but we never had issues. We never had crashes. We never had any vehicle issues like that. Whether they skid off, we never did.
Were you guys like very like territorial about like if an idiot came, you're like no.
Well, at shows, when we'll get to shows on that, we did. But
even
honestly,
like a north south road thing.
It really wasn't a north south road thing. I mean, it was more of a for me at least, and we still deal with this. Is that it was more like if we have like a random meet or something like that. There's always 1 or 2 people that show up, and it's always the same 1 or 2 people for the past 20 some years.
Oh, so it's not random. It's just
no,
they're here.
It could be. Yeah, it could be like an out of stater, or it could be someone that has lived in Northeast PA for the past 25 years that's just showing up being a complete idiot.
Yeah.
And we deal with them. Like we've had we've seen people come back. Like I'll never forget the one night we were hanging out back Garrity's, and there wasn't a whole lot of us. We were parked more towards Garrity's, like in the back by where they have the flowers. And this guy just finished building some kind of a Nissan, whatever, and he's leaving, and he's pulling out onto Kaiser from the first exit by the bank there, and he nails it and he lost control right into the stone wall.
Really?
And it honestly, he was fine. Like he didn't, but the car was destroyed, and I'm not gonna lie, it was a little.
But we've always had
Felt
that.
a little good.
No, it definitely didn't feel good, but it was a little.
You should have known.
But and we've had that through our years. Like an example I'll give this year. We're at Sonic, a meet that I was able to meet the district manager.
And where's the Sonic? Up at Dixon?
No, Kidder Street.
Down
Wilkes-Barre.
Wilkes-Barre? Okay.
That was our old stomping grounds back in the day from like 2010, 11, maybe 12 too, because then we got into Quaker. But we made friends down there back in the day. So when we kind of brought
Are you out of the military at this point in like 2010?
10, I got out. Yeah, July of 2010. So we're down there, we're doing meets.
And you still have the bug.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
it never
right.
faded. It got worse. I'll be honest with you. The Camaro just through all those years always got faster. How do I make it lighter? How do I make it quicker? So even like getting in an 05 by 10, it was a different setup than it was then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's only gotten worse. It's almost
but you guys were keeping this alive. You guys were keeping like these meetups and these shows.
Again, back to Fast and Furious, like that opened put the spotlight on things, and really, like we said, it really grew awareness to it. And the purists in that moment who were street racing in the bigger cities hated it because there was a culture and an undergroundness to it that movie ruined. But luckily our area didn't have it.
Because it made it mainstream?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
So our area didn't have that yet, but we knew of it. So as you go further down of the Gateway days is what we called Wilkes-Barre. The Gateway days came from that. Hanging out, popping the hood in your car, walking around. So then as him and I meet and the crew that we rolled with at that time, and they were all co-founders, we'll say, that's how we began this, like, how do we, instead of always like, what are you doing tonight? It's like, well, we're going to host something. And then, we're going to know where everybody is. So that kind of became, hey, we're going to launch a meet here. And that's what started it. So then it became a group
So wait,
of guys.
that was the start of NEPA Street Scene?
So the start is actually...
It was NEPA Street Racing.
Yeah. And
is how it first was formed. Then we realized as that got bigger and that became a forum that Jeff, Mark, Sebastian, them set up. So as that grew and it became like, God, 500 members, I think.
So yeah, this is kind of crazy.
You would know more of that.
So basically, me being the tech guy, and we had NEPA Street Racing as a forum, and literally the only thing you would do on that forum is fucking talk shit and cause drama. Right?
So
it was like a Call of Duty like weight room.
That's it. It was almost like
less
the way America should be.
It was.
But it was fun because it was kill stories. It was events.
It was kill stories, right? It was people talking shit on each other.
What's a kill story?
If you beat something, like if him and I raced, and it was like, but it wasn't a direct mean of talking smack. It was like, hey,
I just don't know the glossary of terms
it became
here.
that way.
Bumped into this G8 tonight, and when we were here, he's full bolt-ons, meaning like headers intake tune.
Yeah.
I'm the same, and we went on the highway or did whatever. So it was like a kill story of like, hey, I won or he won. Usually the victor told the story.
So what did you had like a website?
So the forum NEPA Street Racing was started in 2007, and I remember the exact night it started. There was a big meet they used to do it a couple times a summer at Jack Williams down when Sound Solutions was still a thing, right?
Right.
And someone came up to me, a gentleman by the name of Tony, and he said, "Oh, we're doing NEPA Street Racing," and he had stickers and stuff like that. And the forum evolved into literally, it was just a place to talk shit, right? Everybody.
But was it a website or
it was a forum? It was a V-Bulletin forum.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Like, remember old school forums for everything?
Yep.
Like username, log in, and make a profile for you, the car.
Bring them back, please. I love that stuff, right? So all we would do is talk shit on each other, right?
Did everybody know who each other was?
Mostly, yeah.
Mostly. Okay. Or you knew the car.
Yeah.
So even if you didn't know the person, you were like, oh, you had the VR6.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever Jetta.
Okay. So that's how it started. And then, and then it kind of died off, right? And then 2012 comes around and everyone's kind of hanging out more. And, some of us had this idea, well, what about like something that's more aimed towards the car scene, like car meets and stuff like that?
Yeah.
So I'm talking to my friend, and Joe mentioned before, Mark Sebastian.
But also this goes right into the stance time frame. You got to remember that. So at this moment where street racing and performance were big, and not even street racing, but racing performance, the scene itself was changing. Where guys were modding less. So when we came to this, hey, let's do meets, it was also because like our crew were the only ones drag racing that we knew of in the Valley.
Right.
Not saying that we were the only ones, period. But in our group, we were it, where a lot of others were just modding less, modding differently.
And
like we said, of stance
what we
cars.
wanted to do was we wanted to kind of like tie that gap together. So like racing, performance, audio, stance, whatever your forte was, right? So we had this plan to launch NEPA Street Scene. So I went in and I bought a V-Bulletin license, I bought a domain name, I bought all that stuff, and me and Mark Sebastian, who essentially was helping me with this, we're launching this date. We're going to launch, March 27th, March, whatever. And then that Sunday, what Sunday I'm talking about? I go on my Facebook and, it was before one of my Facebooks that got deleted. When I had when I had like 1,200 friends, I made a thing saying, car meet tonight, Giant, 6 p.m. Right.
And Giant,
That's it.
Is it still Giant?
That's all it was, right? Giant,
on Greenridge Street.
Right?
Yeah.
So people start rolling in, 10, 20, 60, 100, right? And then, the whole lot is full. And
Giant's going like, what the fuck is
that's
happening?
The thing. Giant ended up calling Scranton on us, right? So Scranton comes through and they were actually really chill. They're like, Giant called, you guys can't be here. And we're like, well, where could we go? And they're like, well, we don't know. But
not here.
Not here.
Yeah, closing time.
So one of the guys that was with us said, listen, we're just hanging out. We're not causing trouble. We're going to go to Garrity's. If anything happens, if you guys get a call my cell phone and leave, right? So,
Kaiser Garrity's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that's like the beacon, like the OG spot.
Yeah.
So we all roll out to Garrity's, and I have a
100 cars rolling out to Garrity's.
I have a video on my phone of that, right? And you could tell it's an old video because it's like absolute potato quality.
Yeah.
Filmed on like an iPhone.
It's like looking through that water bottle. Like,
it's like a BlackBerry phone.
It was filmed on like an iPhone 12.
Yeah.
Or an 11 or something like that. And then, we get to Garrity's, and again, Scranton police show up. Right. But this time I knew them. Right. And they're hanging out. They're chilling with us, having a great time. Right. Whole lot is full. Right?
Yeah.
And then, Mark comes up to me. He's like, we got to launch sooner. Right. And then I launched the forum. People started signing up. Right. And it was different than street racing. It was like people talking, me introducing. Right. So fast forward like a couple weeks later.
Well, we learned, stay on that topic. What did we learn that night, which changed and benefited us forever, was venue approval.
Yeah.
So what we learned that night was if we're going,
so you can't be Cowboys and just
you can't just show up because there was another club at that time and they were notorious for that. Show up, they took pride in the cops kicking them out because they were all derelicts.
The pigs are back again.
Yeah, they're like, oh, they're here, they're kicking us out. It's like,
is anybody drinking this? Can I drink this?
No, crack it. But
Twist or Pops?
Where's I have a bottle opener somewhere.
I don't usually do sugary drinks, but I'll try one.
So we
Parlor, brought to you by John Phillips.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, John. I did send you an email.
Thanks, buddy.
I'll just send him this.
So, with that being said, we got
venue
into
approval.
Very good.
That's right. We got into Sonic, and the biggest thing for us was get venue approval, and that was a pain in the butt. Like him and I, we had to go through Sonic. We had to go to the Wyoming Valley Mall. It took leaps and bounds to get everyone's approval.
So
but that helps their business, doesn't it?
Correct.
So that's the thing.
But Sonic was so small, you had to park in the mall because Sonic at that moment was like, hey, don't park in Sonic.
Yeah, I get it.
Park in the
So
mall.
Sonic
Then the mall's
was-
like, well, hey, who are you guys? Yeah.
Sonic was huge. Like we planned a Sonic meet online. We put it on our Facebook, right? And if you go through the NEPA Street Scene Facebook page, going back to like 2012, you'll see a picture, like a panorama of all of our cars parked in the shopping center, where FNCB is, and Rite Aid used to be on Kaiser Ave there across from Garrity's.
Yeah.
And that's where we all rolled out from.
Till this day, that's our meetup spot. That's the pre-meet.
Dollar General's there now, right?
What is no? It's still. Is there a Subway there?
Yeah, there's a Subway.
There's a Subway.
Northeast Eye or something like that.
Oh, so the Dollar General's right next door.
I think there's like a hearing aid place.
Yeah, baby.
So, I at the time I reached out to a few other clubs in the area. I don't remember which ones. I don't think a lot of them are around anymore. But we tried to pull people in. So we're getting ready to roll out, and a buddy of mine's down in Wilkes-Barre. He's like, "Yo, there's people pulling in from everywhere." And then I have someone call me, "Yo, we're rolling in from Hazleton. We're rolling in from Allentown, right?" We roll into Sonic from Scranton.
This is the first one you guys do.
This is our
first
first
one.
Sonic.
It's still on
right?
YouTube. Like it's awesome.
There's a video of us pulling out a Sonic, right?
Yeah.
And you could see all of our cars. You could see his Camaro. I'm pretty sure you could see my G8. And all of these cars, except for one of them, except for Sean's S2000,
Yeah.
are in the junkyard. Guarantee it. And maybe your Camaro.
My Camaro's out. Mine's in Ohio.
Yeah, everything.
I'm still hounding them to buy it.
Everything
so.
else is essentially in the junkyard.
Yep.
Right? And then we get there, and the lot was, there had to be 200,
Packed.
200 some cars, right?
Easily.
We were having a blast, right? We're hanging out. Everyone's having a good time. Sonic is literally
making money.
On a
they
Sunday,
they can't even keep up.
on a Sunday night when they are dead, they are making money, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we're there hanging out, right?
But this went we did this almost a year and a half. This went into 13,
Well,
didn't it?
Well, no, because
Or was it just 12? I forgot.
This kid on a Honda Civic.
This is the first night.
This is the first Sonic.
Yeah.
No, this is the first big Sonic meet.
Yeah.
Because we did the Sonic meets prior to this, but this is the first big Sonic meet.
Yeah.
Right. A kid in a Honda Civic decides to try to be cool. Tries to drift his front wheel drive Honda Civic, and he loses control. Which I have no idea how you lose control of a front wheel drive car with like 50 horsepower.
Right.
But he does.
Right into a curb.
Idiots can figure it out.
Right into a curb, destroys it.
Yeah.
Right. That was the end of that. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like trying to find a meet spot over the next couple,
Few weeks, maybe like
right?
2-3 weeks.
So me being the person I am, I actually, I come up with a letter and I send it to Sonic and I said, listen, here's where we're at. Here's what we want to do. This happened. It was unfortunate. It won't happen again. We're going to have more eyes on things. We're going to have the cops come through, whatever. I literally sent this letter to Sonic, certified.
Yeah.
They came back to me and they said, yeah, you guys can do it, but you can only park in our lot, which
hurt us.
that's like,
Because what I remember was like we were doing meets, like that was the first kickoff meet for the one you talked about.
Yeah.
But we did several others that followed, and we were ranging 200 to 300 cars a weekend. And we did it every weekend. It was every Sunday.
But you were getting venue permission. Right?
Venue permission, had the mall. And the mall was the hardest one. They were the biggest kickback from us. It was. And we had to sign for it. Like I remember we were signing forms, like being held responsible. And that was all part of it. But we did a whole summer of 2012 till the end when this guy wrecked it, took the venue from us. But we had too many cars, to finish his point. We had too many cars to now go stay in Sonic only. We're like, we could park 60 cars.
And then I think it was 2020. I think it was like some point in 2012, we had what changed the meets for 2 years come through. Quaker Steak.
Yep.
Up in Dixon City.
The reason that this worked so well was because we went to them, and what was his name? Pat.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the one day me and him went to Quaker Steak. Pat invited me and him to lunch, paid for lunch for us. I missed their Arizona Ranch wings, by the way.
I missed the lube tubes, yeah.
Oh, many memories with those.
And they were so good to us.
Yeah, they were.
Between the venue, but even like food specials. Like they took care of us where like if you came, like they even discounted the food, the drinks, and they didn't have to.
They
were awesome.
It was a Sunday night when they would literally have 5 people working,
5, 6.
3 people in the building, right? They'd have the gates, like the doors open on the side.
Like the garage doors would be open up.
We'd have 100 people there. They'd be busy. We'd be, some of the people would be a little too much,
Mm-hmm.
but we'd be great.
Well, because they served alcohol.
Yeah.
They did, yeah.
We wouldn't get wild or anything like that, but it would just be a bunch of, guys and girls having a
Yeah,
good
every
time.
now and again, you don't know what kind of day somebody's having, and they're like, I'm going to
100%.
drink more.
But we filled that lot to the extent of every parking spot. And in between,
how the hell did they go out of business?
Well, it wasn't what up, but we stopped at that point, and we got a moment of where we took a break from a bit, and that might have also hurt them because we did the meets all 13.
Yeah,
I might have got into 14.
We did do 14.
Were these weekly or monthly?
Weekly.
Every Sunday night.
So that's what was so big back then. But we were 200 cars. We were under 200 cars.
We were overfilled. We were parked in the lots. We were parking like
perpendicular up the hill. Remember there was the hill that would go up.
Yeah.
So we stacked their business. And again, they were great to us. That was a great, great moment. But life kind of changed for him and I, where jobs changed.
Yeah.
And it just came this moment of like, we need a timeout because when neither of us could commit weekly. And that's where today,
you guys would have to be there. Like,
yes. Or at least
your party.
And
correct.
The thing back then too is that like there was a lot more of the, I guess you could say, the founding fathers or founding, people that started Street Scene, because, back then there was a lot more people that were, they, for lack of a better term, they were just basically forum admins, right? That's what we've really started. I didn't think back in the day that this would grow to something like this, and there was a lot more, there was a lot more chiefs than Indians back then.
Never a good thing.
And
we needed the Indians. Like, we needed help.
You always do.
Where it's like, him and I can only be so many places where it's like, you need people to park cars. You need people. And it
Really?
goes, well, what we've learned is you need venue approval, but you need order. Meaning, you have to, if you want to
Structure.
fill every spot, and I mean this in a non-cocky sense, we fill every spot.
Yeah.
Whether it's our car show or that, we fill every spot. If we're going to host something and you're going to tell me 50 cars will come, I'm telling you, I'm not getting out of bed to host it.
Yeah.
Like, our number's 200 plus. I'm not getting out of bed for it. And so when we host something, I know, looking at whether it's Montage, Mountain like we did this year, or Sonic, I know we have to park people.
Yeah.
Because if I leave it up to you, not you personally, but they'll overpark on the line. They'll cant their car.
Handicap spots.
It's like, I need you to park even all the way back.
How are people still not parking correctly?
They don't. But everyone wants to be noticed. Everybody wants to be seen. They want to park different.
Which brings us back to...
That's right.
Yes.
So it's like, if you leave our show unnoticed, that's on you. Because we bring the best cars to the area. We bring the cleanest cars. So we got to fit them. So you have to let us back cars up. And all we ask is just turn it off. Turn it off. Because all your issues come if you leave it running. You're going to rev it.
Right.
You're going to turn up your stereo. All we ever ask is just let us park you, turn it off, go meet people, go look at cars, go take pictures. I mean, we have our own photographer now, Bob Reed. And Bob Reed's not, I don't mean that in a bad way. He's always with us. Every time we do something, I'm like, Bob, we're going here, we're going there. Like, we have him, he posts all our pictures like you're going. You know what I mean? To be in the front row of
Andy's
of a great scene.
and that guy's just getting, like, one of the hardest things to take photos of is a vehicle.
Oh, 100%.
It's
Sunlight,
hard.
glare, all that stuff.
It's so hard.
Shadows in the sun.
Yep. Yeah. And then like, what a great opportunity to go around taking pictures of difficult things.
And met Bob at a Sonic meet. Here's us driving in, and here's a guy snapping pictures in the middle of the road, and it was like,
he got an amazing picture.
Amazing. And I remember seeing his photo, and I wrote this guy because I had a CTSV at the moment, and I'm like, did you grab a white V? And he got one, but it wasn't a crazy good angle, but it was me coming in, and it was like, who's this guy?
Yeah.
And our one of our other founders, Kevin Fahey, Doc was like, oh, he's at the drag strip all the time. So he's a normal at Island Drag, not Island, New Media.
My dad's at New Media.
I was an Island guy. Island's my home turf.
Well, he was Island when he was younger, but then he switched to New Media.
Oh, Island was my turf.
Yeah.
But that's where this Bob guy. So every time we go out, I'm always hitting Bob. I still have a staff t-shirt to give him to be out with us. So he's been a blessing. But we even have a guy who takes time out of his day to capture our event. How awesome. Like, who else has that? You know what I mean? So that's all we ever ask. Like I said, is it's a real low impact events we host, very chill atmosphere. But all we ever ask of the crowd is just turn your car off.
Behave.
But also, like, don't be scared to police others. Like, Jeff and I can only be so many places where, like, if you see somebody, hear them, see them revving in the distance, it should be everybody's responsibility to go over and be like, hey, bud, can you just shut that off?
Yeah.
I basically follow this philosophy of don't be an asshole.
That's it. But we try to empower, though, and I wish the scene as a whole would be more empowered, of when you see anyone doing that, regardless of your event, anyone should be able to stop them.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always work that way. It's like, oh, where's the guy in the staff shirt? Hey. And again, yes, it's our venue, but it's also everyone's responsibility to curb the behavior.
You guys should do a series of you can't park there's.
I make videos every day. That is my favorite. You can't park. Dan Casey.
He's on to something.
Dan Casey wants me to make a page of Joe Park. That's my name. He wants to make a Joe Park series of you can't park there.
Why not?
For how many people I tell.
I can't believe that you. I always thought it was a weird, like it was just like a meteor shower in the sky, and then you're like, no, you gotta look up the you can't park there's, and I started looking up all the you can't park there's.
Incredible.
And it's so funny.
It's so, and
people losing their minds.
Some do, and some don't even know. But the ones
some
who
of them are like, yeah, I know.
Oh my god, I got a kid the other day. I came up, drove by, he had crashed. I literally windowed down, I'm like, you can't park there. Oh, I needed that, and it was like, yes, like I was gonna drive off. You know?
Did you film it?
No, I have to start.
It's so hard to remember, like, oh, there's a car accident.
Because it's so quick, but it's like, hey, you can't park there, and it's like, drive off.
I love watching those.
But
so how did you guys, like, it all seems like this isn't really I mean, it's organized to a degree of like an understood behavior and like what we're here to do. But it seems like it's so what happened? It like disappeared for a couple years because like you guys just recently
we started. So the thing is that like I mentioned this a few times before, is that like a lot of us just kind of and the people from like 20 years ago.
Life happens.
Life happens.
Life
like,
happens.
He obviously grew into a career. He grew into a family. I did my thing. I moved to Florida.
You were Florida
I moved
first.
to Texas.
What part of Florida?
Jacksonville.
Oh, okay.
And then I moved
the
to
largest city in the country
it is,
by land.
Landmass. It is. It really is. Yep. Amazing city. I lived right by the beach.
I was in Orlando.
I drove there once.
It's okay. I went to school there.
I lived like 15 minutes from Jacksonville Beach, and the company the company that I worked for gave unlimited sick time. You don't know how many sick days I took sitting on the beach.
I'm going to be sick all year.
That's right. Yeah. I need a mental health day today.
So I moved there in 2015, and then I moved back, and then I moved to Texas, and then I had to.
Now, what part of Texas?
Dallas.
Okay.
Dallas area, and then I moved back in 2016, and then as soon as I get back to Scranton, I'm like, why did I do that? It was more of a. It was a financial decision, and there was some other
things with
situational things, type deal going on.
Yeah.
And then, I strived in 2019 to really get back. And then, I saved money. I drove Uber. I moved back to 2019, and I've been there ever since, except for a year last year when I lived there.
How was it during COVID down in Texas? Did anyone notice?
No.
Life went on normal.
No, it did. No, I mean, obviously there was like lockdowns and things like that, and they.
Yeah, but they weren't really aggressive about it.
No, they weren't. I mean, I myself, if I was going into a place that they required a mask, I would just put one on out of respect. You know what I mean? And that's really all there was to it. And then I think in like the beginning of 2021, the governor said, "Okay,
all right, we're done with this.
No more masks. Whatever." And then everything was just kind of forgotten about. But
yeah. And
then I moved down there, and then I want to say in like the beginning of 2024, Joe.
Well, 23. I'll tell that story.
Go to 23 and then
I still tried to put meets on through the years where we weren't big. Meaning like Quaker ended. We still have a connection through Josh at Regal Theaters. So one meet I always put on was the Fast and Furious meets.
Okay. All right.
So any movie that came out, Fast and Furious, I think Ford started, 4, 5, whatever.
Ferrari? Oh, I think you said Ford.
No, for Fast and Furious 4, I think 4 or 5 it started. So I made this connection with the manager
5.
at Regal. I think it was 5.
It was 5.
And he wanted to do a car show with the movie release. So we would do an early release a night before. So Thursday night would be the car meet. He'd have several private theaters, and we would do a release. And we'd only get about 100 cars, nothing crazy. But I was able to put that on through the years. Tilted Kilt, if you remember, came to the area.
Over by the Radisson?
Above Quaker Steak. So that was like skirts, cars, whatever.
Yeah.
So
they didn't live long.
No. And I thought, how perfect. Cars, girls
Chicks,
in minimal clothing. This would be perfect. This will sell.
It's
and be
the only
huge.
way. Minimal clothing is the only way. If they're dressed in burqas, you're not going to the car show.
Well, what a foot in your mouth kind of setup. Go up there, and woman's great. She's like, I've done these in New Jersey. I know what to do. So I'm like, oh my God, this is perfect. It was only me at this time. Jeff was still out of state, and marketing was good. Me and our buddy Kromko and an old co-founder setting it up, advertising it. Well, as good as it could be, they put on like 2 bartenders.
Oh, you can't.
So here we show up, 150 cars maybe first night. 2 servers, 2 bartenders,
2
nothing. And this woman knew where she's like, what are you expecting? And I literally had said the same old, like 200 cars is always our goal.
Expect you to do your job.
Like expect a big night. Well, we have people that put food orders in that never got food.
And they were out of everything.
Yes.
Too.
Really?
Ran out of food, didn't get food, didn't get served drinks. So this went on for the summer of
It's
18.
obvious that this
18.
lady was joshing you.
Yes. So we go on for the summer of 18. I think it was every 3 weeks we did it when I was off on a weekend. And what a flop. People showed up, but the business never showed up.
Did you tell them like the
I would.
following week, you're like, hey,
yes, what happened? And
you need fucking bartenders.
So then moving forward, they even tried doing a buffet where it then took away from serving people in the kitchen. that worked a little better, but Tilted Kilt flopped. DQ was one that came up. I had the guy in Plains come to me at a Fast and Furious meet. We did DQ for a summer. But again, small parking lot.
Dairy Queen?
Dairy Queen, yep, right by the casino. We did that for a meet for a summer. So we've always tried to do something. So fast forward to 23, where, I'll say Jeff's job is stabilized, mine is, and I go to Carlisle. And we always go Carlisle in May.
Well, they have a big thing.
Always been.
Yeah, what
and
is that?
Our group has always been
What's
big.
the Carlisle thing?
So performance and style is the phrase today. So it's not locked into a make or model. Whether you have an Audi, whether you have a Bentley, right? Whether you have a Camaro, you could bring anything because they're still basing it on performance or style.
Okay.
So we always went down as a big group. As we were established, we'd go down with 40, 50 cars. Even to these last few years, we were almost 50 cars each year. So I went down in 23 and only went for the day, didn't stay over. But there was like 4 NEPA car groups down there. And I stood there in this
What's Carlisle, like an hour and a half away?
2 hours.
Okay.
About an hour 45 maybe.
No, it's a little over 2 hours.
It's not bad, but
depending on how big
it's
of an
81 all the
asshole you are driving.
way. We get hotels that we stay at the same hotel. So it's a awesome trip if anyone ever joins us. And again, we'll have 40 some cars parked for our group. We were the largest how do I word this? The largest
We're just a
like
group.
what's Audi and Volvo? Like compared to them, like
So there's lots of clubs.
we were the biggest club.
Like a non-affiliated.
Yes,
There's lots of clubs that were like, for example, there was one
like brands. We were the biggest car club that wasn't a brand.
There was
Okay.
one. So like they do this thing, a club competition. Like whoever brings the most cards wins. I don't think they do it anymore, but like they used to have first, second, and third.
Mm-hmm.
And for the longest time, first place was always like the Hyundai Motor Club or something like that, right? And
Hyundai was big. Volvo was big.
I remember in 2013, it was first place was Hyundai Motor Club. I think second place was probably
Volvo. Volvo was huge.
and third place was NEPA Street Scene. And we got a banner, and I had the banner hanging in my garage in Texas saying,
So we were the biggest car club to go that wasn't a brand only, because Audi could be nationwide. Anyone showing up, tri-state.
People from
We
Virginia,
were actual
Maryland, New York,
a
Ohio.
diverse car club like him and I, where you had performance guys, style guys, anything
Daily
in
driver
between.
guys, yeah.
So we started doing that. So in 23, I go down and there's this groups of NEPA scattered. And I kind of was like almost brokenhearted, where I was like, why is Mike hanging over there? And why is so-and-so there? And no one was together. So I remember leaving there with the guy we went down with. And I remember having this moment where I'm like, I'm bringing back Street Scene next year. And this guy again was like, brokenhearted. As I said that phrase, you watched his soul like sink down, because he was like, oh man, because all he ever wanted to do was just be in the spotlight. And to me, it's not about that. We're about like bringing people together.
Yeah.
But this guy wanted to always be the host of it, So I watch him like have a weird reaction to that. And I was
Because you said you're going to bring it back.
That's
Look,
it.
you broke that.
I did.
Nice.
I broke
Yeah,
it
there you go.
So we go into him and I start really chatting heavy, where I'm like, we got to
You're
bring
still
it
in
back.
Texas, right?
I was in Texas.
Because the
and-
valley was
yeah.
split up. That's where I was like
Yeah.
brokenhearted, where I was like, we got guys from Scranton and Wilkes-Barre driving down separate. No one's talking to each other. And I kind of was like, I don't know, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you lost like the familial aspect.
That's
of
right.
it.
But
Yeah.
it goes back to his point. It was about the clout. It was about, I just want to get pictures, me. And him and I are still big on like, bring it together.
Yeah.
Get to know each other.
He
You know what I
always
mean?
says-
Like,
he always says, "Rally the Valley." It's a hashtag that we always use in a lot of our posts on social media. Rally the Valley.
because
And
all I want to
that's-
do is bring people together.
Yeah.
Like, it's such an expensive hobby.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't have to be a competition. Now, again, you're racing. There is a competition, but then go race and be done with it and shake hands. Hey, you were faster.
Yeah, it's not like
You-
pottery or
you spent
macrame.
more,
It's-
you spent
it's a
more
lot of
money than I did.
Yeah.
You know, that's how most
Ceramics.
people win the race. It's either a more expensive car, buy-in, or you did more mods. So it doesn't mean your character's better, but okay, you have a faster car.
So when you decide to start this up, you call him and he goes,
Yeah, so I
"Oh,
hit him
no,"
up
or
and
he
I'm like-
goes,
So yeah,
I was like, we got to start it up. We got to start posting. Do you think we can get Sonic back on board? Do you think you'd be available to come up in the summer ever?
and then just so as luck has it, my plan was, and this was probably, I want to say June, February of that year. My plan was I was going to fly into Philly and I was going to rent like a
something silly.
Supra?
no,
Orange Supra.
I was going to rent like a
Porsche or
like
something.
a Porsche Boxer convertible and just drive it, right? And you would not believe how cheap it was. For like 4 days, it was like $300 or $400.
And this was for like
Really?
Yeah.
This was for Carlisle. This was
for
our
Carlisle,
build up of
right?
like Carlisle 24. We're back. We're gonna
And then
kick off the page.
And then, you know, as I guess you could say, luck would have it, I ran into some health issues, and then, you know, maybe
Who the fuck ever says, as luck would have it, I ran
Well-
into health issues?
well,
But with that said, it totally worked out because
Well-
he came
I'm just
back.
waiting to hear what's next because I'm like, whoa.
this is a whole other rabbit hole. If you ever want to have another podcast, we could talk about.
I'm a
that.
rabbit hole guy, as you can tell by the
Honestly,
surroundings.
Honestly, Mark, it might not be a bad idea. We could talk about it.
Okay.
But, so instead of renting a Porsche, right? I think it was May 4th, which was a week before Carlisle,
Which is also May the 4th be with you.
That's right.
and also
Yeah.
with you,
Yeah.
as us Catholics said.
Lift up
Roman-
your hearts.
as Roman Catholics that went to St. Anne's growing up.
Yeah.
You know, May 4th, I packed my cats in my car, in my SS, packed a couple computer monitors, drove 1,500 miles from
Mhm.
North Texas to Scranton. And then a week later, drove to Carlisle. And what happened at the show field? Do you remember with my car? Didn't something?
So we get to the show field. Poor Jeff doesn't have a manual transmission. Mistake one, right? Maybe, but
Oh,
I don't-
You shifted
Well,
1,500 miles?
I don't know what
I'll
happened.
admit it. I'll admit it.
I'll
admit it. I can't drive a stick.
But-
Everyone makes fun of me for it.
But so we get on the show
Still?
field.
You still can't drive a
No.
stick? You need to, so my first vehicle that I drove was a Ford F-350 diesel dually standard.
Oh
with
my
an
God.
overdrive.
Dear
and
God.
if there was ever an eighth of inch of snow, you couldn't go anywhere. So we had to put 2 tons of plates in the
Oh
back
my
of it every
God.
winter. It was so low torque that you didn't start off in first, you started off in second.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That was the best way to learn.
That's awesome.
That was the best way to learn how to drive a standard.
That's
was
awesome.
that. Because after that, now I'm like, I'm like fucking Mario Andretti. I
Anything,
can
yeah,
do whatever
yeah.
I want now because now I understand like how all this works. And it's because otherwise, if like it's crazy seeing people like just let the clutch out and the car is always going.
Yeah, it starts.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
doing
it's
its thing.
And 90% of the vehicles in Europe are standard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but in America,
And probably
90%.
diesel.
Yeah. So all right, continue.
But, yeah,
Your
so
car's in the field.
We went on the show field. I had a CTSV at the moment, but it has an open exhaust. So you could hit the valve, open it up. Yeah, so it's awesome. It's cammed out. So I think Jeff was trying to be equally loud, but you couldn't be because it opened pipes on it. So he's next to me. He's revving the piss out of his
Because
car.
there was some kid next to me that had a camera, and he's like, "Oh, I make YouTube videos. I want."
Yeah, so he's revving it. I'm sitting there thumping away with
it's the
cam
equivalent
and
of
the
being
pipes.
like in New Orleans, be like, "Show me your tits."
Yep, that's
I-
it. It's like, here, give me some beads.
I revved it.
Vroom, vroom.
I revved it a
Little too high.
little too high, and then I shut the car off, and then
Tick, tick, tick.
it was pouring. It was absolutely pouring.
Yeah, it's on that point. It's not May Carlisle if it doesn't rain 1 out of 2 days.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
then-
that's normal.
And then we had our tent, like they gave us because we had so many people, and they always do this, is like if you bring so many cars, so many people, so many pre-registrations, they give you like a full-size tent like you'd see at like a church picnic or something like
Okay.
that, And we had the JBL boombox going.
Wait, this one, the party one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's huge.
We were having fun.
We had a blast.
Andy Chomko has 2 of them.
We had a
Yeah,
blast.
of course he does.
Yeah.
Everyone had fun.
Except for one person.
Everyone had fun, right? And
Except for one person.
I was completely sober the whole time, 100%.
Yeah.
So
and then
and we had the best hotel. So we
Oh
got a
my
hotel.
God.
We got this Hilton hotel. It was 2 blocks away. So I find it leading up to it. They give a great price for what it's worth. We book it, we stay 2 blocks away. I'm telling you, 1-year-old,
yeah,
it was the best stay we ever
It
had.
was.
Yeah.
So yeah, we try to do it for 25. Well, she's telling me, I gave you a deal I never should have. I almost got fired. So because they didn't put the event tax on it.
What does that mean?
So they didn't upcharge because it's an event.
and now they want
that
Now,
isn't that criminal?
now they want to up. So now for 25, they wanted to upcharge, and it was a 2-night stay minimum.
I think it's a 3-night stay minimum now.
So I didn't call them this year.
Where does the event tax go?
That's right. So
Wait, does that go to like build bridges?
Well,
Like, where does that event tax?
Paris Hilton's pocket.
Yeah, and this year it was like maybe 100, 125 more per night. And I literally said to the woman where I was like, my team, I said, no one's going to spend $800 for 2 nights.
Yeah.
No.
Because it was $400 almost a piece. I think it was like $350-ish for $400 all said and done.
It's a fucking
And I was
PlayStation 5.
I was like, no one's going to do that because we still got to eat and there's breakfast, but there's still dinner that night. If you stay 2 nights, it's 2 dinners.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're eating on the show field. Like
It's $100.
it's $1,000 2 days. No
Yeah.
one's going to do that.
No.
You know what I mean? So anyway, we had a great
You
hotel.
think they'd be like, come here. This is great. As a
You-
matter of fact,
you
we're going
think
to take
they-
away this tax.
You think they would sell by volume to be like our theory? Like, I'm going to sell out every spot.
Yeah.
You think they would be like, I'm going to sell out every spot? No. So we didn't get it this year, but that year for 24, phenomenal. We left his car in the show field because we had too fun that day.
I couldn't. You know.
So what happened to your car?
So okay, I revved it a little too high.
No.
Yep, little.
I revved
He
it
went. The VTEC went
a
a
little too high, and then I just shut it off and went to.
Where was the RPM supposed to be?
6.
Well, I just did a supercharger build on it, right? And the way that one of my friends explained this to me was that if you rev it too high on a supercharger, it goes a little higher than redline. You probably know what I'm talking about more. Well, you definitely do.
But you'll be getting valve flow and stuff. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's guys,
So-
you know.
It's a lot.
Basically, what happened was I revved it and then started drinking. Got there the next morning, and then they do judging
Early.
via
But you didn't notice anything when you revved it, did you?
Well, he revved it and then shut it off.
Yeah, and then
So he damaged it, then he shut it off. So he never got to hear
so the next
noise.
day they do judging via drive-through. So you have to drive through the pavilion, and then the judges go through the car with the judging software. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I start it, and the check engine light is flashing, and I'm hearing like a.
Yeah.
And it's just not revving right. So I have a bunch of people come over to me with like, scan tools and stuff like that. And it's showing misfire on cylinder, I think 7 or something like that. Right. And we try swapping the, the coil and stuff like that. We tried troubleshooting and everything like that. Couldn't get it right. So
I thought he was joking. Like we're parked next to each
car
other.
smells like gas, So,
Like
you're just burning.
And
You're
we're-
just throwing fuel in there.
so
and we're together to roll up to judge because we both have GMs. And he's like, dude, I got a problem. And I'm sitting there like, Jeff, we got to go right now. And he's like, I got a problem.
So I do the judging. I drive through. I go back to my spot, and like I'm sitting there like,
Sweating.
What am I gonna do? Right. So I called a flatbed, right, and I had it flatbedded from Carlisle, Pennsylvania, to C Pop's Auto Shop in Plymouth.
Hashtag CPOP. Where is he?
He
has done a ton of work for me and my boys. He's awesome.
He did the complete cam ported supercharger, all that nonsense I did last year. On my SS, 735 horsepower.
Yeah, CPOP's
well
Auto's
capable
awesome.
of more than that, but towed it there. The tow was like $750, and
bad.
the whole time I'm just like sitting there. I'm in my car. I'm like Mr. Grumpy Pants. I'm like, you know what?
He is.
I'm just going back with the tow driver.
Yeah.
He was so upset. And that's when he's like, what do I do? I don't even know where we're at. And I was the one like, go to CPOP. Like he has cleaned up when my SS was turboed. Like he cleaned up the build post the motor guy who did it. The motor guy was great, but
So
he
would you
was
break a valve?
I bent a valve.
bent one.
But
So he was revving his car to the extent of having a camshaft, but he didn't have an aftermarket camshaft. So he was just over revving.
But thankfully,
And that was it.
And I say, well, I mean, it is thankfully, right?
Mhm.
I only needed the head resurfaced, right? And I think
Minimal work.
the damage was, I think, $1,300.
Minimal.
Which,
Well, $2,000 if you include the tow.
yeah.
True.
But here's the thing. Here's the stupid part. Like what? Like 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, I ripped everything out and did the cam build.
Yeah, you want to do a cam.
And I would have saved only I would have saved like $600 if I did
Something.
it. But you know what? It's
But-
whatever. So that was Carlisle last year. And, I had anticipated on only staying in Northeast PA for about 2 months.
Maybe.
Right? But I stayed for 13. And that whole summer, it was great because I was able to reconnect with lots of people.
Mhm.
I had both my cars up here because I flew
This
back.
is last summer, right?
Yeah.
Of
2024.
I
yeah.
had my SS here and I flew back and got my Subaru, my BRZ, and I was able to go to car shows, pick and choose what I took. We were having our random meets and stuff like that, going to shows with people, having our own thing, doing everything.
Yeah, so Carlisle opened the door in 24. So in 23, I had this vision of like, we got to get, the Valley back together. Go into 24, we did Carlisle. And we brought I think 44 cars. Like we brought a big group of us for a car group that probably was dormant for 8-9 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it still shows people want to get out. They want to get together.
Is there new blood?
Oh, a lot of new blood.
Yeah. A lot of new faces.
A lot of new faces.
There's always
a lot of new faces.
There's new people coming. There's people coming and going. You know what I mean?
That's the beauty of the car scene. Like you almost get like the 21-year-old who has the job and can buy a car, and then you get the guy who's 30 starting a family selling his car. So you always get this revolving door of one goes out, but one comes back in.
Jeff. Did you keep bumping it?
I know. Okay.
Are you Italian?
Yeah.
Could you talk with your hands?
That's it. What do I do? What do I do with these? Ricky Bobby.
I had that guy John Lombardo on. What was it? The last episode, and he put his hands down here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're like the worst Italian. He's like, I don't know what to do.
How do I keep these things?
So you guys start like 2024 was kind of like, let's test the waters.
Like a rebirth. And what the beauty of the year was, we were motivated, and he was home. That's what the only thing I could say that would hurt us moving forward is not having him in NEPA hurts, where we do have a team, but it was always him and I leading it. You know what I mean? But our team is awesome. Like, Doc's always great. Matt Pickens, Sam, she's been our creative director, I always call her. And she's our MVP this year. But
we can name drop all these people until we're blue in the face. But, there's a lot of other people that help us out tremendously, like our supporters. Just people that come up to us randomly and say, hey, we love it.
It's
complete strangers like that.
They see the stickers even on my car. I bumped into guys at gas stations. Like, you've done that show, or you're doing this. I had a kid in an IS 300 not too long ago in Dunmore that, pulled in my green Explorer, and he was just like, oh, you guys are the guys who do the meets. He's like, I'm from Tannersville. We all come up. And it was so cool. Like, that's what we're after.
So
come out with us.
So how has it grown now? Like this 2.0 or 3.0 or
much
whatever
bigger.
it is. What's the difference?
Driven to duty.
Like what? Okay, so explain that.
Well, I would say so. The difference I would say was in the beginning, it was kind of a car club. So you had us wanting to host meets, but you also had us wanting to, I'll say, showcase our own stuff. You know what I mean? So it was
like the shit that you do,
like our cars. Like, here's our cars. So you're also trying to like, hey, here's what I have, but also let's get together. And the biggest focus I've tried to really, push on Jeff and the team was, let's just keep it about everybody else. You know what I mean? Because if all we're doing is shoving our car down your throat, at some point you're like, I don't want to see it anymore.
I'm sick of seeing this.
So I think that's when the beginning, where we were like a car club and a hub of information, I'm trying to keep the page as a hub now. And I always say the same key phrase, like rally the valley, but also like we're a hub, not a club. And I always try to like push that out there, where it's like, you want to advertise like your show, your car show, like a Parlor One advertisement, like come to us. Like, we have a bigger following for in the car world than anybody in this area. So we have a big base. How
do you compare that?
By followers, just by numbers. Like, we're almost 5,000
followers,
people.
Numbers, people coming up to us.
Instagram.
You see the like obviously, we see it from our Facebook engagements.
Huge.
From our sponsored posts that we make, from some of the reach that our sponsored posts have. From just there's
like we're in the 20,000 range. Like you throw a little bit of money at them, it's huge.
We've had a few posts that have reached 30,000-40,000 people.
Right.
And then, we're getting big into Instagram, and we're going to branch out to,
we have to get into TikTok more.
We're going to branch out and that's what, we were talking about earlier. We want to branch out. And when I say want to, I mean, we're going to, and branch out into much bigger things, and, pick out on an area that we've kind of lacked on. And we're going to make sure that we do it in a way that is Jeff and Joe and, Doc,
and the team,
Doc, Sam, Eric.
Well, I mean, a lot of what you guys do is about community and communication and family. And
that's what we're trying to push, where it's like, our events aren't just need a car. Like, come hang out. You could be a car enthusiast. Come see what we have. We're going to give you 200 cars on a Tuesday night at the Shops at Montage. You come to Driven to Duty. We did over 300.
So what's Driven to Duty?
Oh, we'll tell you about that. So we did over 400 cars this year registered. So again, even
for Driven to Duty?
Correct. So even if you don't have a vehicle, but you're like, I love cars. I love, JDM cars. I love American muscle. I love modern muscle, like what Jeff or I would have. We have it at the show. You love Lamborghinis, Ferraris. We have pictures of them at our show. Yep. So we have everything, whether it's from a Honda Civic to what did my buddy bring there? A
Volvo?
A 430 Volvo too, but a 430.
What did Tom bring? A Revelito or whatever it's called?
I don't even know Lambos, but he brought something.
Whatever the new Lambo.
A few Urus have come out to ours.
Yeah. There was a supercharged Huracan,
Yep.
stuff like that.
A few Urus SUVs came out. So again, we can give you anything. That's the beauty of our car shows or meets.
The beauty of our car shows and meet is that you never know who's going to show up or what's going to show up, That's what brought us success, though, back in the day. And we'll get to Driven to Duty, but that's what brought us success in the day was a local car club that's very big still today. They don't look at the scene, how it changed. So they're not into the newer Subies, import scene, modern muscle. They're almost like 79 and older, and that's great. However,
what's new muscle?
Like what kind of the Camaro I had was his G8 to SS, CTSV Cadillacs. Anything I would say 2000 and newer would be. And now that's still an antique today. Don't get me wrong. However, that's still considered modern muscle.
Like a new Camaro, new Vet.
LS.
Yeah, but are they really new muscle?
No, but it's almost like the LS platform is what made the new muscle when they went to the LS blocks and beyond. And again, that's a 20-year-old nameplate.
So with my dad being a drag racer, I remember going to the races and I remember so they would bring, this is around the Fast and Furious time.
Mm-hmm.
And they would bring like those import cars and blah, blah, blah. And all the guys there are like, these things fucking suck.
Back
these
in
things,
that time,
we hate these things. These are what they were calling them, rice burners.
Yeah.
And they were like, these are not the cars that we grew up with. These are not like the Chevelles.
I mean,
and the
back
GTOs.
then, I really don't think you had a lot of that stuff back then because,
I just don't see it coming back because it was like there was less. It was just like it was mechanical.
Like 2001, you had that was still like the LS platform was still kind of in its infancy back then.
It still was a baby. Yeah, it wasn't proven
yet. And
a
lot of that stuff was still like like the Trans Am WS6, the Z28 Camaro, all that stuff. Those were the only two, I guess you could say, modern muscle other than like
started then the C5 Vet,
other than the 4.6 Mustang.
But that was a dud for what it was worth.
And then you see, like, as time goes on, like in 03, Pontiac comes out, GTO.
That came back, yeah.
And then 09 comes out.
So it's kind of like that modern muscle of, again, old names, Camaro, GTO.
Yeah.
However, the LS platform that started.
I guess I'm just a snob about all those older muscle cars.
It's kind of like that's what started modern muscle. But when I say modern, it's still 20 to 25 years old, which then now makes it a classic or antique.
Right.
However, that's how it got dubbed. You know what I mean? So you got into the Camaros, the Vets of that era, and they just grew faster. The Z06 came out in 06, game changing.
But the Dodge Challenger or whatever?
Challenger came back out. So that, again, perfect example of modern muscle.
Yeah.
When they came out, again, 2007, 2008, great examples of modern muscle. Older name, but today's modern muscle. We're again back to 400 some horse to start. Oh my God, here's 707 horse. So that's when we say modern muscle. It's in that era of.
So is it horsepower?
No, but just. It was almost just like the next version of it.
I just don't like the way cars sound today. I like the way that they sounded when they were like boom, boom.
Well, they don't come with V8s anymore. They're all like turbo 6s.
Do you think those are going to come back?
Twin turbo. If they do, it's going to be a high.
Trump's America, are they coming back?
If they do, I feel, and I've said this and I could be wrong, I think the turbos.
I mean, they worked.
They did. But everything's going less displacement, twin turbo.
Yeah.
And that's okay. But if you want to keep the V8s, I feel that the turbos will go. And it'll be an electric motor.
But none of I don't think that stuff's good. I don't think so. Okay, my opinion on it all is that number one, the cars today suck. Yeah. Most of them, on the whole. Not to say that
they want performance and EPA. That's what they're trying to
meet. The EPA stuff's bullshit at the end of the day. That's what I think. Once I found out that auto turn off thing actually uses more fuel. I'm like, why is this even here? Like what idiots decided that this is the thing to do?
Propaganda and money to make you believe.
So going back to
it makes you feel, hey, my car shut off. I feel like I'm saving the earth.
Yeah, but you're not.
You said, when you fire it back up,
you're wasting more gas than you would if you just sat at the stoplight.
You're firing it back up and having to get the oil pressure back up. Like you get off the brake, which engages it, and then you're on the gas. I mean, who has an oil pressure gauge in the car today? Nobody on the dashboard. So you're off the brake and immediately on the gas, this thing is firing up and you're already sending it throttle and fuel. You don't even know if your oil pressure's all the way up.
So that's
again, I'm not into that auto stop. That's immediately disabled in any car I drive because
how do you disable it?
There's a button for it. Every car
you got to sit in the fucking car and hit the button. That's so dumb.
Or you can tune it out.
What does that mean?
You can flash it with like a handheld tuner.
If you went through a tuner someone to reprogram your
Not
ECU or your trans.
Not all cars can have it. Like I had a
No.
Silverado that had it, and there was a flash thing that went in line with the ECU, and you can have different parameters too, and like throttle response. And
So
all
like
that.
to hook a computer.
You're
and be like, turn this off?
piggybacking it. You're giving a piggyback to the computer. Yep,
Yeah.
that sends signals to disable things or enhance the performance.
Yeah.
So
Why can't we just turn that off all the time?
you're right.
Like
brain-
I say, I don't
you're-
like new
My
cars.
sister-
You're not idling at a red light. You're saving the
My
planet.
sister had a Chevy. I think it was either a Malibu or her Equinox, where it was always on. There was no button.
Oh gosh,
That sounds like a nightmare.
It was.
it was.
And then people get like used to it, and they're like, "Oh, this is the way cars are supposed to." It's like, no, it's not.
Like I get in her car when I'm visiting. I drive her Tucson, right? I get to a traffic light and the thing shuts off.
Right
and I'm
off.
Like, oh, Jesus Christ. So I hit it, you know.
Well, it's either that or you got to pump the brakes quick to simulate you're about to drive.
But that's
I'm with you.
like once I realized like how much shit over like the last 20 years has been like, this is unnecessary and it's stupid and it costs us more money.
Think of the shutdown. That's equivalent to what plagued GM. It still plagues GM with the cylinder deactivation.
You
Think of that.
You're
All
talking
the
to me like I
lifters.
know what you're talking
So-
about. I don't. What is
so,
that?
so the DOD, the huge plague. His
The Department of Defense.
No, displacement on demand. So his G8 was a huge victim of this.
My G8,
that
right?
fell to it.
So in the mid 2000s, GM decided it would have been a good idea to implement this system called DOD or Active Fuel Management, where if you were just like going down the highway, going like, I don't know, 60, low RPM, whatever, it would shut off 4 of the cylinders to save gas.
I remember this.
In reality, you would save probably like 2 or 3 miles a gallon, right? Well, what they also did was those parts were essentially made of paper mache, like the lifters, the rockers, and all that kind of stuff, right? And I had a 2009 Pontiac G8, right? My favorite car I've ever owned. His favorite car, my favorite.
It was the
car,
best one he had.
My favorite car. He loved
Still
that
the
car
best
too,
one
right?
he had.
Yeah.
Never forget the one night. I'm driving down 81 one night with my 1X, and we're going to the casino, getting off at the Cross Valley, and check engine light comes on, and car starts running like, shit. Pull it over. Okay, whatever. Tick, 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 tick. Start it. Tick, 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 tick. Smells like gas, right? So I do the normal human thing. I drive to the casino.
Floor it.
I drive to the casino, go to Bar Louie, probably lose my ass playing blackjack,
Right.
whatever. And then I do the other normal thing. I drive it back to Scranton,
Floor it.
right? And I spend like a couple weeks trying to troubleshoot it, like in this stage of deniability, thinking, oh, it's a plug, oh, it's a wire, oh, it's an injector, oh, it's this, oh, it's that, right? So this is when Pontiac was still it was right after, well, like 2 years after they had gone under, but the car was still under warranty. So I had it flatbedded to Iron and Pontiac, I think it was.
You went to Einen,
Yeah.
you went up there.
Iron and Pontiac. And one of the lifters, I think it was the lifter, cracked, fell into the cylinder, right? Took out the camshaft, right?
And this is normal. At this moment of GM, General Motors, this is happening nationwide.
And it's still a problem.
The Escalades are still Tahoes. Anything with the 6.2 liter today.
The C7 Corvette
still doing
So
it.
my buddy has a Cherokee.
Mm-hmm.
He had to replace the water pump 7 times.
Dear God.
They just don't. I mean,
But so what it boiled down to is that like if there was a date on the water pumps, and if you get them from
a
like
certain date range.
a certain
Yes.
date range, all
Yes.
of them will break. All of them. So he had to get like an aftermarket, like third party, and that was the one that finally worked. But like it was like every week and a half he was changing his water pump.
They do that with even VIN numbers. You'll get like version A for Alpha, B.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's same car, but
like
changes are made along the
so
way.
like the quality of the vehicle, in my opinion, is diminishing.
It is, and it's also again back to the EPA. They're trying to like save a penny where they could.
Could we get rid of the EPA?
They're dollar
yeah.
stupid, penny smart.
No, we didn't get rid of that one yet. We got rid of the Department of Education, which is good, but the EPA is still there.
But it's still penny smart, dollar stupid. So they're going, we'll shut cylinders down, it'll save. They're half-assing it.
I always
and then now
think,
he's eating camshafts. So now
And
his
then
car's going
the
back
cam
for
was
full
at-
warranty work.
The cam was, thankfully, it was under warranty, right? But
yeah, but if it wasn't, how much would that cost you?
it would have cost about
$3,000.
It would have cost like $3,000, right? But here's the problem. This happened in May of 2011. The car was at the shop for 3 months.
Almost the whole
couldn't-
summer.
The car, I couldn't get parts, right? There was like 1 or 2 camshafts in the country, right? And I can be a Karen Well, not can be.
Well, yeah, when it comes to your car,
not
sure.
can be a Karen. I'm a Karen when it comes to everything. Ask him about that.
Everything?
I get my way, right?
By the way, I just found out what Karen means. I'll let you know.
No, I'm a Keith. I'm a Keith.
Keith, yeah.
Keith or a
Okay.
Kevin, whatever Karen's husband's
Yeah,
name
yeah.
is, right?
Kyle.
No.
Probably a Keith. Probably a Keith.
Right, Keith.
I'll have a monster, so I could be a Kyle. But so I complained up the chain to them, and I'm like, listen, you guys have had my car, and I was like, I would drive by and I'd look in the lot and I would see that it hasn't moved.
Yeah, it's still there.
It hasn't moved. Not that it was still there, it just hasn't moved.
And this is at the dealership.
This is at Ein and Pontiac. It's now Ein and Buick, whatever, up on Route 6 up there. And I'm like, you guys realize I am making payments on this.
Yeah.
So I complained so much, they gave me a check for 2 payments.
Wow.
And then a month later, I got the car back and it was fine. And then a few months later,
Jeff math.
And then a few months later, I took it to Race Proven Motorsports in Delaware and ripped it all out with a new
Jeff
cam,
math.
with the Jeff math, and did a new cam and stuff like that. So that cylinder deactivation stuff, it's not. It's
It is.
It seems like there's non-car users that come up with these ideas.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the thing is that like,
but they're all going back to EPA, where they're all still like,
Yeah,
they
but the
want to be
EPA
in
is not in the
bounds.
car business.
I know, but they all want to please them. So they're so big on, again, deactivating the car.
Is that because
Shut
nobody?
the-
Is that because nobody corporate of a car company looks at them and goes, no, fuck you.
think of
Might
it this
be.
way: you have a car that has cylinder deactivation, right? Realistically, will you save money on gas?
But what does that mean? It just means that the fuel doesn't go in.
You won't burn as much fuel, right? So you'll save money.
Yeah, that
on
means
gas.
that. Does that mean like the valves close?
I don't know the full
I don't know.
breakdown of it.
Like, how
But
does
I-
that even work?
But I
They
do know,
they
but that's a
basically
good
tell
thing.
you-
So think of that. You're
Yeah.
shutting down 4 out of 8 cylinders. So you're saving on fuel. You're right. However, think of everything has to talk to each other.
Yeah.
All the sensors.
Yeah, it all works in the.
Has to
why
talk.
would that happen?
So like you're gonna essentially are you gonna save
All
money?
built by the lowest bidder.
Correct. Always. It's always the lowest bidder.
Are you gonna
Or-
save money on gas? Yeah. And then the money that you save on gas, you could take at the end of the year and you could buy yourself a 4-pack of Parlor. But
Yeah, but then you're gonna have to, when your car breaks, you
then
got to
at-
pay.
But
That's
then
right.
at 5 years, when one of those rockers or lifters breaks and it falls down into the motor, and you get now a $5,000 or $6,000 or $10,000 bill from the
all that
dealership.
money
So
you
happy
saved.
I saved that gas
I
money.
am so happy I'm helping the EPA. It's just
That's
I
all-
have a buddy who's a farmer and he lives in North Pocono. He's a brilliant guy. Ran for state rep, real nice guy, and he's incredibly intelligent. Like, you think farmers, like, the stereotype is not smart.
I would.
I've found in my travels that they're probably the highest intellects on the planet is people who just like live off the. He was telling me about like this carburetor. He goes, we don't need fuel injection. He goes, carburetors can do 80, 90 miles a gallon if you want them to. He's like, they were experimenting with this stuff in like the 80s and the 70s, and he goes, they just wouldn't approve it because no one needs to buy gas. So once you make it so that the vehicle is fuel efficient, you don't need to go to the gas station as much, and the oil companies
and
aren't
who's
making
in
money.
bed? Who's in bed with
And
all
it's
that?
always like that.
Yeah.
It's like if you take that analogy and you just transfer it to fucking rocker arms, it's
true.
like, why is they're all going to break? We can make them pay for it again in 4
That's
years.
right.
They're going to buy these
Well,
twice from us.
It's the same thing, and then they're paying themselves. So when it comes
just
back
pisses
to
me off.
warranty work, stuff like that, their workers are not
What's it
working
called?
more.
Controlled obsolescence?
Planned
Or
obsolescence.
Planned obsolescence. The light bulb. That's the easiest way to understand it.
Dealing with that with my fridge.
Did you ever hear that?
Yeah.
I don't think
The light
so.
bulb was so effective and
Mhm.
efficient that it would last forever. And they all went, well, no one's going to buy light bulbs.
Oh,
So we need to make them break after like 2 or 3 years. And that's
where we are.
That
This.
fucking cell phone has
Yes.
like 100 times the computing power of this fucking
Of the
space shuttle.
the
Yep.
Apollo landing
But every
module.
2 years you need
That's
to get
it.
a new one, or every year you need to
Yep.
get a new one.
Yes, as fast as mine is now, it
Oh, it's
won't be.
$1,200. I'll do this every year.
It
'cause I'm
won't
an
be
idiot.
that fast in 2 years. No way.
No,
You're
and
right.
then, and they put it in the app updates. They're like, we're
Mm-hmm.
just gonna slow this down a little bit. Over time, it'll be imperceptible, but eventually you're gonna be like, I gotta get a new phone.
Need a
'cause
new
I'm
one.
so pissed off.
Mhm.
I think that just that pisses me off so much that
I'm
they
with
do
you.
that stuff.
Dealing with it with my fridge. It's only.
I'm gonna tell you something.
It's only 3 years old. That was $3,000.
I got married in middle 2019, June 2019, right? Then, within like 6 to 9 months, the world shuts down. Everything goes fucking crazy. Like 2021, 2022, all the shelves just started. I got a brand new fridge. My parents gave me a fridge as a wedding present. All the shelves fell out. All
Wow.
of them.
Perfect.
And then you want to buy new ones. It's like, oh, it's $300 here. It's like,
yeah.
So we just don't have the shelves in there anymore. Fuck them.
I don't blame you.
I love it.
I'm so like, it's just like, and then I go to my grandmother's house and she has a refrigerator from the 1940s, still runs. All the shelves are there. It's fucking insane.
The old saying, obviously, the old saying is they quote unquote don't make them like they used to.
No.
On purpose, so you buy
On
more
purpose.
shit. That aside, you guys do a lot of goodwill.
Oh,
And
yeah,
you
we-
never
Driven to
got
Duty.
to Driven to Duty.
Yeah, we got to. So Driven to Duty.
You're like a cat following a laser pointer.
We'll chat on that quick. So we get into 24. We're doing well. I make friends with the district manager, Sonic. We bring Sonic back. And meets are getting well. 200 some cars. Jeff and I are like, wow, like people are dying to get out. We always hinted at a car show back in the day, and we never did it. We did a few, again, meets. We did the Woodlands, I guess, car meet we did. We donated to cancer
2012.
in 2012. And then we just got into this. We got to do it this year. Hard part was we came up with this idea in August of 24.
Mm-hmm.
You go into a small window of car scenes only going on 2 more months.
Right.
So how are we going to do this? So I made a phone call to my buddy Paul Welby. Grew up with Paul.
Who is that asshole?
Oh my gosh, he's
an
one
asshole.
one of the guys. So me and him go back to the arena bar and grill
love-
days and music.
As
If you
straight as
remember-
I can be. I love Paul.
I love
Welby.
Paul.
Everyone
Yeah.
loves Welby.
Yeah.
I remember he had a Saturn back in those days. It's
No one's perfect.
It's 2000, right?
Wait. Shout out to Welby.
Yep. So
Total shout out.
he has a dentless Saturn back in the day.
With the wing.
Because remember they had these dentless doors. They advertised
Yeah.
dentless doors. So
Yeah.
we're at the arena in music, which now became Carvana.
Right.
So we're down there at this old pool hall, and we're holding our buddy Ethan. Long
down
ways.
by the
By Dunkin'.
Wegmans. Yeah. The Wegmans is probably there.
No,
You go-
ShopRite and
No,
music.
didn't it used to be okay.
So
Yeah,
the
you're right.
old,
I thought-
so
yeah,
you're,
yeah.
I know where you're
I'm
talking.
thinking about Wilkes-Barre.
There was an
Yeah.
arena where Carvana used to be in music.
I used to play the arena pool hall.
That's it.
Yeah.
So that
my
was
band used to play there.
our OG pre-Jeff. That was our hangout.
Pre-Jeff.
Pre-Jeff. When I was in high school in the early car days, that was our hangout. And we were still under 21, so we couldn't even drink. We'd be playing pool, and
Sometimes you get away with it.
we used to try to sneak, but we never were successful. But that was our hangout. So we're with Paul.
What years are this?
2000, 2001, 2002.
I was playing there in 2002.
Really?
Yeah,
So-
we might have run into each other.
We would be hanging out nonstop. That was our spot. So Paul Welby has this dentless door.
Yeah.
So here we're holding Ethan long ways, and we're trying to ram him headfirst into the door.
To dent it.
That was one of my first memories with Paul
So
Welby.
that
Yeah.
answers a lot of questions.
So
about Ethan.
that answers it with Ethan.
Yeah.
But that goes back to Welby meeting him 25 years ago, 24. So anyway, I make a phone call to him, kind of griping, where I'm like, how am I going to do this? But I brought up like, do you think your armory would do it? My first goal was the armory on Market Street, because that was the OG, like we said,
Right.
the OG of street racing, hanging out, go back to Wilkes-Barre. So in a nutshell was hit a Paul, I was venting, wanted the Market Street Armory because of the old tie into Wilkes-Barre.
Yeah.
But the parking lot's too small. Even if you argue, oh, we could park cars
I saw
inside.
circuses there. It's too
You
small.
did.
Yeah.
But even inside, it's not that big. When
Right.
you really start parking, cars, you want to get a vendor, food truck, your footprint gets smaller. So I hit a Paul, we talk, and I kind of vent where I'm like,
every time, man.
that mic doesn't like you. But I said, hey,
It's pretty heavy.
what about your armory? Because the armory there on Oliphant Ave is huge.
Oh, yeah.
Flat, huge, it's open. Yeah, let me see what I could do. So here's Jeff and I sweating. We went about 2 to 3 weeks waiting for a yes. Where like this
From
was
Paul.
correct. And this was the only like basket we had. We put all these eggs into it where if he said no, we're going to do it in 25. They come back, yes. Colonel Morales, love the idea.
He's a good dude.
Let's do it. So now it's like game on. But we gave ourselves 6 weeks. So we planned for October 6th of 24.
Yeah, we had.
And we were
I
like,
was at that one.
how do we do this? So it was just same thing of the back to the regiment comments. It was like, how do we go about it? And my mind was like, let's see if we get sponsors. So I kind of made a network of everybody I've dealt with through the car scene. Like we brought up C-Pop before, who's my boy who I brought a bunch of customers to, would be like, hey, would you want to sponsor? My buddy Vic at Coast, anybody I've gone through 20 years of car related shops. So we come up with like 30 some sponsors that say yes. Maybe I hit up 40, but they all want to donate to it. And then we start getting vendors along the way. Like Toyota, when I talked to Andrew, hey,
Toyota Scranton.
yep,
Right?
we want to be the top sponsor. So they, cut a check for that to be the top sponsor of it. Jeff was working with the folks with Good Drop. They became a vendor. So bring a booth, set up. So we started getting sponsors, vendors on this list. But then it's like, need a DJ. We got to provide food. You know, Paul was like, hey, we can use the restrooms inside. So it really kind of evolved very quickly. But it was really like laying down, how do we make people comfortable?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it's like, what can we do? And we're talking to Paul was like, I loved the parade, came back, the military parade, the Armed Forces parade.
Day, yeah.
When that came back post-COVID, I was so happy because it was so awesome that, again, our local soldiers were able to be honored and around. And I was in the old ones in Taylor back in the day. So I thought that was such a cool throwback. So I really found the passion of everything requires money. And we hate to say that.
It does.
But you have to have money to continue most things.
Right.
So I wanted to ensure that the parade would continue. And it's not just our donation keeps it going, but we're part of it.
Right.
We're part of it. We're not it, but we're part of it. So that was one. And then knowing Fight for Vets, where Andy's involved,
Yep.
Paul's involved. And again, it gives back to local soldiers. Like, we're not talking people in New York or California, like our own soldiers.
Yep.
In need. How awesome. So again, all of our sponsors, vendors are all out of the Wilkes-Barre, Scranton area, all in the Valley. We're not pulling from people nationwide. Like it's
You're not
folks
getting Pinterest.
That's right. Like it's dealer car dealerships like Scranton Dodge, Bonner Chevrolet, RJ Bernie Cadillac, Bernie
Restaurants.
Honda.
Yep.
They're all local. You could go to these in your own hometown and buy a vehicle, buy something to eat, get a service.
McGrath's was a sponsor.
McGrath's.
I went there the other night.
Jimmy?
I
You know
went
the
through
McGraths?
Joe
You know
up there.
McGrath's? Joe?
Yeah,
I went there the other night. I never had their food before, but it was amazing.
but
Really?
again,
Oh, yeah.
and we got that set up with Mike Duffy, who was a family friend long term.
Wait, Mike Duffy that works for Road Scholar?
Yes, so that's how we got Road Scholar
His dad and
involved.
my dad are very good friends.
So I grew up with his son Pat Duffy.
Okay.
Like Pat, growing up was one of my boys. So grew up with Pat. His father, knowing this was kicking off, hit me up of like, I might have some friends. He got Road Scholar, McGrath's, and he did our Carol and Janelle's this year. Who else? He did us 3 or 4. But Mike Duffy did awesome.
He's an awesome guy.
Out of the blue.
Yep.
Like phenomenal, great family, helped us out.
Yep.
So again, as we got these sponsors and vendors on board, it was, again, keeping the benefits of the money within our community. You know, again, to veterans. We're just home to me, not to Jeff, but again, the team's on board with whatever we believe. But outside of Driven to Duty's money, we donated to Cody's car show this year. Again, that's about mental health. And there's something else. What else is tied to the show?
Wasn't there another show that was donated to up at Griffin Pond or something?
Well, Griffin Pond, I did separate. Yeah, we did Griffin Pond and we did Cody's. So we've tried to get out with our own money even. Of like donating and putting us on trying to be a sponsor.
Well, and you do Toys for Tots. And
Toys for Tots, we do it Port Nova. Yep, Dan Port Nova. We've done that a few
that guy
years.
is
Kaylee Memorial, I believe it is.
Oh, the
I wasn't here for that. So.
the Pendel car show. Yeah,
Yeah.
for Kaylee Pendel. That was a car show out of Wayne County.
So it's not just like, I mean,
Yeah, so we're not just veterans only.
Yeah.
But like it is still trying to give back to the community.
Yeah, but that's like, who can't get on board with that?
100%. And again, we're trying to do it again through rallying the Valley, the phrase that come together, because it's not coming to us. Like, we're a nonprofit. The money doesn't come to us at all. You know what I mean? Like, it all goes out the door to somebody else, So we're trying to continue to give back where there are a lot of need, whether it's a person or people or an organization. So we've really shifted our focus, like we said, it's not about us showcasing our cars or stuff. It's about showcasing what do you drive, but also like, what do you need help with?
Sure.
So we've really tried to come back more community-based this time around since 23 till present. And 26 is big. Him and I have been talking. I mean, there's so many.
Jesus Christ, you keep stealing all my questions because my next one's gonna be like, well, what's 26?
Well,
I mean,
we have to talk about 20. There's
a lot on the table. And of course, as we're getting bigger, sometimes you still have to keep your focus of like, where are we going?
Yeah.
Because you can't do it all, which is unfortunate. But you can't be everywhere. You can't do it all.
Well, unless you have the money.
That's right. So we are trying to stay focused on, again, getting sponsors on board for stuff. And we always try to be very transparent with what we are doing. So even as I contact, say, Bonner Chevrolet, and I was going through them, it was very transparent of like, here's our goal. Here's where the money's going. But here's what we're doing for you.
Yeah.
You're going to be on our advertisements. Like if we had our use your phone, if this was for our show daytime location, when you flipped it over, it had all the sponsors by their icon trademark. Their logo was
Yeah.
on it. So as we went to car shows and put out the flyers, you were on each flyer. I mean, I can't tell you how many hundreds, if not near 1,000 flyers I've handed out. So we're putting you on the flyers. We're putting you on the t-shirt. We've done many shout outs where we tag the businesses in it. So we try to at least, again, promote their page also.
Yeah.
Because it's about likes these days. It's about the footprint. It's about engagement.
I think you can do all that without selling your soul.
100%.
Yeah.
So and everybody we've had, again, I'm a customer of most their businesses. Signature 888 with Eric. Like, I'm a customer. He's done vinyl wrap, tint wrap for me.
I bought 2 cars off Banter Chevrolet.
That's right. So we've used all these places.
And within 6 months, you sold them.
That's right. He did.
One was
I can't believe I was close on that.
One was like, one was about 10 months, the Maroon SS.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
So everything we're doing, again, is promoting small businesses in the area, trying to give back.
Building a community.
That's right. Every way we could. You know what I mean? And all we ever ask of people is just be respectful. Come to the event, park where we're asking you to park, because we're going to fill in every spot, but then just shut the car off. You know, keep that positivity.
Yeah, don't be an asshole.
That's right. We don't need to hear you rev it. We don't
That'd
need
be
to
a great
see
t-shirt.
Slide sideways.
Don't be an asshole.
You put it on the back of it.
He's onto something.
And
with tire marks.
Yeah, you could do the S could be that, and the amp. What's that thing called? Where it's not an A, it's like an at.
Oh, the at. Yeah.
That way you can get away with it a little bit. I think I've always thought that was a great slogan. Don't be an asshole.
It's true though. I mean, that's all we ever ask of the car community. And again, to go bigger picture, like I said before, was if you see a problem, like, you can address it. Take the individual responsibility of like, oh, they're tied up getting cars in. Go tell the guy to stop revving his car.
Yeah.
Like, I only had one incident at Sonic this year.
Can you imagine the shirt? All you gotta do is like, yo,
This is don't
be an asshole.
Don't be it. I only told one car to shut it off at Sonic this year. I heard a rum bum 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 rum bum 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 in the distance, and I'm like, son of a gun.
Yeah.
So I walk out to like the mall parking lot at Wyoming Valley Mall, and here's this little tiniest flame of flames popping out the pipe.
Yeah.
And this guy's revving in. There's like 4 or 5 cell phones sitting there. So I just go up and, doors open, and I'm like, I tap the guy on the shoulder. I'm like, hey, bud. I'm like, and he looks at me with this ghost face, and I'm like, hey, man, you got to kill it. And this kid almost intercepts me in the side, and he's like, what do you mean he's got to kill? What do you got going on? And I said, are you the host of the show? He's like, no. And I said, well, I am. I said, so I need you to shut the car off and park it. Yeah. Oh, okay then. But it's like, I don't know why. Why would you challenge me?
Well, because everybody's got to be a silverback gorilla.
Yeah, like, why would you challenge me saying, hey, let's knock it off?
Yeah.
But anyway, this kid did, hey, no problem, I'm sorry. But as simple as that, like trying to get a flame video.
Yeah, you could do that at your house,
That's
bro.
right. Like, why are you around 200 cars?
Clout.
Being an asshole.
That's right.
Clout.
It's like, go make your TikTok video. I don't know, go to Sheetz, but then you're by gasoline. Maybe that'd be scary. I don't know. But you can go anywhere else. But at the middle of a meet, it's just like, don't do that.
So what do you envision happening in 2026?
So, 2025 was very successful. And the big difference is that, 2024 was success.
A huge
Needless
comeback.
to say, successful. I mean, we learned in 2024 what we did wrong. And honestly, I think that we didn't really do a whole lot wrong. I mean, it was our first year. And, I remember that.
I would say we learned from 10 years ago, maybe what we did wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
That's how I would compare that phrase to.
And I remember the day of the show, I went on the Facebook and I said, thank you for everyone coming out. I want feedback. I want to know what we did right. I want to know what we did wrong. Not one person said anything negative. And I'm just thinking to myself, come on, there has to be something.
Yeah,
there.
something.
So all of the negative stuff from last year, honestly, came from like
us,
right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
and that was the good part, is we executed so well.
Yeah.
Because again, we've done it so long. We've gone to so many shows. Like, we knew the expectation.
This year we had everything a little more segmented. So, I was, I moved back to Texas in May of this year. We started planning the show in
it was late. It was like June or
we had that first meeting at Denny's, and remember that night we went to Denny's? Like, it was me, you, Eric, Steve, Sam, all of us. We started planning it back then, and then we really started to push things in. Like the main, I guess you could say, the main committee that I was on was judging and pre-registration. So the one big difference from last year to this year was we used software for judging, and it was a game changer.
Huge game changer.
It was an absolute game changer. I also built
like an app on your phone or an iPad.
It was an app on the phone, but it was a complete end-to-end solution for judging.
Right.
I built a complete front end, driven2duty.com. You can go and pre-register your car. You can pay with PayPal or Venmo, and it would send an email to me, and then I would simply input it into the app, and then the day of the show, okay, you pre-registered, here's your DAS card. Have a good day.
And the stipulation, I put this on Jeff, was with him doing judging. Because again, when you go back to the performance style, that was him. Style, judging.
Yeah.
So he led that front. He brought up the software, and I was against it at first. But then my rebuttal was, if we're going to do it, like, it has to then be faster. So I put on Jeff where I said, we have to set up a pre-registration. And Jeff was on board because in Texas where he's at, it's bigger. Pre-registration in this area is tiny. It's not kicked off, I'll say, till this show, because we had almost 170. But back to the point of, I said it has to benefit us outside of judging. As in, we're going to be on a show on Main Street.
Yeah.
So how do we make this faster? So I said to Jeff, if you can get the cars preloaded in the system, because my fear was, okay, it's my turn to judge a car. I have the app open, but I have to go to your car, log in, make, model, your info, mark, make, model, and all that.
Yeah.
I have to do that now, judge it.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
That's minutes.
Yeah.
Like we don't have an extra 3-4 minutes a car to give.
That should all be there before the day.
So I was like, if you can preload everything,
and the thing
that
is,
when we go to a car, it's there. So Jeff was like, he got more into the app, and he's like, they give a QR code. So
you walk to a car, scan the QR code, and then you,
because they put the thing in the window.
Because he did it, but he preloaded it. So he already had it loaded.
I preloaded it for pre-registrations, and he mentioned that we had, I think, right around 170, 180 pre-registrations. So
tell him what year one was 12, 15. So that's huge.
And it was all paper.
Huge.
It was all paper, pen, walking around. We had like a judging sheet. It took I almost died of heat stroke.
He almost did.
Right?
Yeah.
I judged like 150 cars because I picked the whatever.
Biggest classes.
Whatever. Because I'm really smart sometimes. No, I'm not. It made judging
also terribly modest.
It made judging a lot easier this year. And
way easier.
It just did everything for us. Like I have big ideas for it next year to make it.
Yeah, we have better
next level. Something that this area, like last year, nobody saw the pre-registration software, and you mentioned being modest, right? I'm not going to be
putting all those in sucks.
I'm not. It does.
It does, but it saves.
But it lets you know the cars.
It does,
yes.
But I got something up my sleeve.
Okay.
And then talking about
up your sleeve.
Edit that out.
I don't know what that means.
Please edit that out.
What is that?
It was a guy. He was a troublemaker.
He's trying to start shit. Edit that out, but send it to us.
That's right.
It'll go in the group message. So I plan on doing something that's going to basically elevate it to the next level. That's going to impress the shit out of people.
Good.
Something that nobody in the 570 area code, nobody in the 610 area code has ever seen before. And it's just going to, I don't want to say it's optics, but it really is. And back to optics, it's like, registration the day of the show. And it goes back to doing things that the area has never seen. You go to a car show in Northeast PA, it's like, okay, $20, fill this out, done, right? You go to our show, go to the registration tent, Jeff is sitting there with his MacBook and a laser printer. Name, address, blah, 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 blah. Here's your dash card. It's printed out on a piece of thick stock, put it on your dash, and they have something.
And you can QR scan it.
Scan it, that's right.
And it puts their year, make, model in the thing, right? And then someone walks around, scans the QR code, and then at the end of the day, we see, okay, let's say 95% of cars have been judged because a certain 5% might not be
they might not be registered.
They might not be registered. They might not have shown up. They might not be wanted judged, whatever. And then it tallies all the results. So, 3-4 o'clock comes around. You walk up to the microphone, you read the results, you're done. It's not like last year where I was tallying up results when he was on the microphone trying to stall.
Right.
So,
it takes like the objectiveness, almost the subjectiveness out of it. You know what I mean? Like, because it tells you what it wants you to judge, but it ranks it.
Yeah, it does.
So if I went and ranked this bottle 87, you know what I mean? And then that's 86, like it puts it in front of it.
Yeah.
On the computer. So there's no like, I got to remember which one.
Yeah.
It does it for you.
Yeah, it's real time.
But again, the beauty was
it
like
also helped us with like, We added distance traveled.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's say someone drives from New York City or
It computes it.
or Lancaster or wherever.
Mhm.
It showed us who drove the farthest. It did club participation. So which car club brought the most cars out?
And also what car club had the most points.
Which car club had the most aggregate points? And that race, watching that race.
That was awesome.
From the judging standpoint, from behind the scenes, seeing how close that was, that came down to like one car.
Well, that came out same with the biggest car club of the day. The winner won by one car. That was back and forth between the Farrells and Crown loyalty.
And so did
all the way through.
It was two clubs for the club quality. It came down to like 50 or 60
it wasn't much.
It was like 30 or 40 points,
Yeah,
which is essentially one car for club quality. That was a close one, and I believe 717 Outlaws won.
717 won, yeah.
Shouts to them
because that also helps where. Bringing a lot helps. But if you bring a lot of 5s, that's not as good as bringing, 10 10s.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
and that's the thing. Like the other thing that I really pushed for with the show was, and I did a lot of this, was just reaching out to a lot of contacts that I made from the AVJs, right? I reached out to a lot of the, we had a lot of clubs come to the show. We had a club come from New York, Made to Envy, and they're old school. I don't know if you know any of the old school car clubs in the area from like down in the valley, right? But these guys are old school. They brought their laid out mini trucks, right? We had Sunset PA come. These are magazine quality cars and trucks, right?
Yeah.
We had other cars come. We had
even the Subies from New York came.
We had Keystone State Stubies. We had local guys. Envious brought a huge showing. Props to them for coming out and coming to our meets and stuff like that, as always.
717 the Outlaws,
717
like that
came,
truck club that won, they're all down. Those guys drove 3 hours to get to us, and they came and won. That shows how many came. So really an awesome showing. But it also goes back to us of like, we're trying to showcase that, bring them together, give them that moment to be seen by everybody. You know what I mean? Because we had 2 photographers for the show. We had Bob Reed, we had Mike come out. He had the drone video and stuff like that. Bob had a drone video. So again, it was truly awesome to give back to where the amount of reels, you look at our Instagram, the reels that have been made by other followers have been huge. They're still making them from our car show.
They are. Yeah. And one more quick shout I want to give, and I just want to make sure that I don't forget anyone. We had another group come out, 6 Star Sovereigns.
Yep, the Subies.
They're from the, I believe, like the Vestal Binghamton area.
I thought it was like Binghamton, right? Not up north.
Yeah, and they brought a bunch of people down. And then we had another group come out from the Stroudsburg area that I've never heard of. What are they? Romp Boys. They've been in. I've seen lots of communication going back and forth on our Instagram.
Oh yeah.
One of the cleanest Civics I've ever seen in my entire life.
Awesome.
And I'm not a Honda guy.
Awesome.
Oh my God. But we had lots of just amazing people come out to the show. But yeah, that the club quality race, that was just
even the club volume, like the most participants. that came down to one car. Where I'm telling you, the Farrells and Crown to loyalty, they fought that through till the very end.
The participation, it was
awesome.
I got to say that was really cool being running the show and watching that from behind the scenes. Because I'm watching people judge and I'm seeing like in the app like real time, like okay, this is how judged we are. This is who needs to be judged and whatnot. And then I'm like reviewing like the club quality award, and I'm reviewing like the club participation award, and I'm going through like the dash cards that weren't claimed to kind of see, okay, these 2 people from this club didn't show up, so it's 2 less cars for them and all that kind of stuff, right? It was fantastic watching that. And even like the pre-registration, like we really, really pushed pre-registration because it made the registration.
Everyone else does it. Everyone else pre-registers.
My goal with it and my fear. So let's touch on this for a second. Let's go back a tiny pinch. So we did 24 show at the Armory in Scranton on Oliphant Ave. That was successful. So to keep this as short as I could, we went into 25, put the request in. Well, the request that got approved in 24 stayed local. The building is owned by out of state. Was it Indianapolis?
Something like that.
Indiana. I think Indiana, the state. One of the guards owns it, National Guard units. So the approval goes out to them. We waited 6 months from December till June, I'll say. Maybe May, but I'll say maybe even June 1st. Of 25. Waited for just a yes. We get told no.
Yeah.
We get told no. So now we're like, holy.
How was it approved the year before?
So it stayed in-house. Colonel Morales and them approved it in-house, and we kind of left it at that. So this year was like, hey, it's not really our building. We should go out above and beyond. And that's where we get told no. And they further up like, hey, we're a federal building. Like, we don't do fundraisers. So then it was like, now what?
Yeah.
So I'm one day working, and I stopped by Andrew down at Toyota, and they were getting top sponsor. Him and I were having a coffee, just kind of caught up of like, how's things? Again, thank you so much. I made a bad joke with Andrew where I'm like, man, I wish we could just clear your lot for a day, like be the host of the car show. Andrew's like, well, I can't clear the front lot, but he goes, I got a lot on the south end. He goes, why don't you check it out? I'm like, really? What do you mean? He's like, I'm like, let's go in the car quick. So we jump in the car, we drive over. He has, as you saw at the show, this monster flat lot.
Yeah.
And he has cars in it because they're from like employees or all this stuff. But he goes, I could clear it. You could use it. Really? He goes, 100%. I was like, so we can't go inside, right? So we have to get porta-johns. You want insurance plan? Yes, I do. So some small tweaks we had to do.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we get approved for Toyota. That's how Toyota happened this year. We were denied it.
So the National Guard took 6 months to deny you?
6 months.
And Toyota took how long to approve you?
One conversation.
6 minutes.
6 minutes. 6 minutes. But that was Andy, who believed in the vision, believed in what we did.
Yep.
Was the top sponsor in 24, but came to the show in 24 and loved what he saw. Was so happy to now be like, you're going to do it at my establishment. He was so happy. So he blessed us with that opportunity. And that's how Toyota happened. Toyota is also on for 26. So October 4th of 26, we're going to have the show still at Toyota Scranton this year. And we have a bunch of changes. We'll get into launching that online as we get to it.
Mark your calendars.
But yeah, mark your calendars. It's official. But that's how I want to make sure we get to how Toyota happened.
Yeah.
Because people thought, I don't know, we moved or jumped ship. We had to jump ship.
Yeah.
So let's talk about a story on Father's Day we said we'd get back to. Do you remember it got canceled? We talked about that. What venue did they go to?
I thought they were doing
They came to the Armory. All of a sudden, one random day, they post, hey, the Armory in Scranton's going to host our car show. So I immediately wrote our internal team where I'm like, there's no way they got a yes because they just canceled Naog or McDade. They canceled McDade. They were going to McDade for this year. That got canceled. But within a day, they post this, hey, we're going to the Armory. We waited 6 months for a no. I knew that wasn't going to happen. So I made a comment on their thing like, I don't know how you got an approval. Something I said. Well, all of a sudden I'm blocked. I'm off their page. They thought we set it up. They thought we got them denied because in 2 or 3 days came out, oh, we can't do it. A local car group said it was, they stopped us from it. So we kind of put this out like, we didn't stop anybody.
Yeah.
We too got denied. So they ended up hosting a leadership meeting from all the local car clubs I went to. And that was wild. Like they've got some crazy beef out there with some local car clubs like Coal Crackers and stuff. That's
really
30 years deep. So that was a weird meeting, but they had thought we stopped them. And it was like, no. I went to that meeting and I'm like, we got denied too. Like we had to get a new venue. So it wasn't us. Like, you know what I mean?
How did you guys get approval?
That was kind of it. Like in 3 days, how did you get a yes and we did it?
Yeah.
So, but that's how we got to Toyota. I wanted to also just clarify.
They do a good job over there.
Oh, excellent job.
So,
excellent.
Do you want to talk about what you guys are doing tomorrow?
I do. I'm real excited
Let's let that be the pièce de résistance that we end on.
We could.
Yeah. So tell the world what's in store for next year.
So next year, what are we going to start first with next year?
No, I mean like this.
So tomorrow,
Jesus, it's like the one thing you want to do and you don't want to talk about.
It is. Well, fuck. It's sometimes I get like that excited, like
I'm excited. I'm excited.
So
about
you want some benzos? No,
so tomorrow, as we bring in TJ, very excited.
Well, tell people what you're doing. So like.
So
what do you want to do for 2026?
Well,
so you're thinking of doing this thing.
Of many things. We're hoping to do a podcast here in your studio. and work with you and get other car enthusiasts on board through the scene. Like TJ is an example tomorrow is the VP of auto at Sherwin-Williams, who's been truck racing, dirt track racing, been in the scene, but around the nation. You know what I mean? But also want to get into, like we're saying, other car clubs, get in here and go through the same conversation, right? Passion. What got you started?
Yeah. And I mean, I had an absolute blast doing
Did you think you were going to enjoy this?
Oh, I knew we would.
I think I had my concerns because here's the thing. I absolutely hate my voice on camera.
Why? It's great.
But here's the thing. When I hear it, it's not that bad. It really isn't. Right?
I would tell you. I
I remember the first time I met my one ex, right? She's like
I met my one ex
at Carlisle, right? One year. She's like, "Oh my God, does his voice really sound like that?"
Yeah, she dated you
for 10 years.
Yeah,
must have been that bad.
Yeah.
So
hold on.
But anyways, no more of that.
Yeah, no more.
Okay.
No more dragon.
Pick better bitches.
Oh,
I did.
Okay, good.
So, and I didn't pick.
So you were concerned about hearing
just hearing my voice and stuff like that. I've always just been really self-conscious about my voice on camera, but
I would have.
This really helped.
You're
this
fine.
Really did. And
as soon as I met you on the dock, I was like, oh, he's fine.
And going into next year, I really want to be more into social because I've wanted to make some kind of YouTube channel for years, but I feel as
you
though
literally need an email. That's it. You can make a YouTube channel.
I have a YouTube channel. There's just some nonsense stuff on it. There's nothing.
Yeah.
Do you know what the best way to do it is? You treat it like a television station. Here's what I would see on a television station because that's what it is. So when we were growing up, Channel 2 was CBS, Channel 6 was WNEP or ABC, whatever you want to call it. That's all YouTube is. It's just a TV channel.
Interesting. So
all you got to do is you go okay, we're releasing that. If you look at it through the lens of I have my own TV station,
that's pretty neat.
I can.
So what's our channel going to be, or what's our?
At the end of the day, that's what you're figuring out. So you have your playlist, which could be oh, this is a Pennsylvania American Outdoor Life, or you know what I mean. So your
the
playlist.
Pennsylvania Road.
Your
Street Scene Road.
So if you look at your YouTube channel in that way, where it's like a TV channel,
that's pretty cool.
I want to eventually next year. I want to focus on, like Joe said, I want to do more social media. I want to do short content. I want to do TikTok. I want to do Snapchat. I want to do getting short form and stuff like this. Podcast broken
just
up as
engagement,
much as I can,
just
engagement. And the one thing I really want to do is I want to do a weekly show, and I've wanted to do that for a very long time. And I want to collaborate with other enthusiasts
100%
that are local, but I also want to bring in people that may not be local. So Joe had mentioned, tomorrow we're going to talk to TJ, and I've also known TJ. So TJ is going to be awesome to have on this show.
Yeah.
Right? But
yeah, I mean, he between his street level involvement, his professional level, even his character, the charisma he has,
his OG knowledge over the car scene.
100%. But the professional knowledge he has today of licensing and other stuff in the paint world, everyone's in for a treat tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
When they get to meet him and really hear about.
Although it comes out later, not tomorrow.
But
well, you know what I mean.
And then I want to do I really want to do a weekly thing, and I feel as though it's
just you and a guest.
Me and someone else on the team. It doesn't necessarily have to be Joe. I mean,
I could show you how to do that. I could make your life less miserable.
Prefer it to be someone. I mean, it's like you said. I mean, this arm was $30, and
it's surprisingly how cheap it was.
And I could get a cheap, $100 microphone.
Well, there's this saying that if it doesn't look good, they'll forgive you. If it doesn't sound good, they'll never forgive you.
Okay.
True.
Well,
so you want to
that. So a couple $100 on equipment, get a decent webcam that makes me look not like a potato.
You don't look like a potato.
No,
I'd tell you.
I have a nice office set up
like a sweet potato.
A sweet potato.
I have a nice office set up at the house. So just do a weekly cast where we talk about things going on. Had people come in. I got a few people in Texas I want to bring in just to talk. The one thing I really want to do is I want to compare the car scenes, because it's like comparing apples to.
I don't think it's even the same though. I don't think you could compare it.
It's like comparing apples to.
Well, you know what it's like? It's like the Oscars. Who's the best actor or who's the best actress? It's they all did different performances.
That's right. Even down there, you're talking a year-round climate and the house of horsepower.
But that's something look, at the end of the day, you guys are onto something that is not necessarily regional. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, this is nationwide. It's
like,
just
yeah, but it's worldwide. You can
Oh, yeah.
like if you play it right, like there's going to be people from Japan who are like, what are they doing?
Foreshadowing.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, but even their culture is huge, and they're still doing the underground stuff.
But that's what you want to do. You want to build up this community that isn't just, would you call it, the valley?
Yeah, it's not just us.
I mean?
That's right.
And you guys are just like, imagine the goodwill you can do with a bigger community.
Oh, it'd be huge. Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
I that's another thing that another takeaway for another time, whatever. But I just feel like there's certain things that are completely different, but there's also a lot of
you want look,
similarities.
Here's the way that diversity is good. The similarities are the things that everyone can agree on. Mm-hmm. The thing that make people interesting is the things that aren't similar.
True.
That's okay. You guys are not like NEPA Street Scene. You like cars, you have shows, you go to places, you make venues money, and you fundraise. But what are the things that make you guys different from us? Because that's the curiosity. That's the thing where it's interesting. Oh, you guys do this, you guys do that. We never thought about this. Or you guys only do this. Well, why do you only do it that way? Well, we only do it that way because of A, B, and C. And you're like, oh, well, we don't have that problem up by us. So this is why we do it D, E, F. Mm-hmm. It's always, everybody's got a story. Every car club, every fucking, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter.
And
like
when we told ours,
I could sit and have a compelling conversation with somebody as long as they're willing to talk.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what they do because everybody's got a story. Like when I used to watch movies and TV shows, I was always like, that guy in the background sitting at the restaurant eating dinner. What? There's a story there. Like you could do a whole movie on that guy back there.
Or
so
he
like,
was in that movie with that movie.
But like the point is like as long as you're open to the conversation, you can have amazing conversations about really interesting shit that just keeps it in the wheelhouse of what you wanted to figure. Like you might do an interview with a guy one day who's like, oh yeah, and then my family died, was murdered by a serial killer, and you're like, all right, like we want to talk about cars.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True.
So it's like there's always something interesting that you can find, and I'm just really I think more people should talk, especially if they don't like just to figure out like what's different. It doesn't mean I have to abide by the difference.
Oh yeah, it doesn't mean you have to agree with it, or it's the same thing as like we talked about stance before. Like,
yeah, but cars are like chicks, man. Do you ever see people like I like brunettes, I like blondes, I like redheads, and everybody's got an opinion on all 100%. Of them, and it's the same thing about girls. Yeah, it's the same thing, and I think in cars, I tell my dad all the time. My dad, he will get when I lived at home, he would get phone calls. He would talk to guys for 3 hours on the phone.
Wow,
just about cars. And one day I said to him, I love tits. Like it's my favorite thing in the world.
They're pretty.
I got maybe 4 minutes in me.
Yeah.
Before I run out of stuff, and they can talk, like he can talk about the reaction time he had on the third run for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And I've always been fascinated by it. I just don't understand it.
Sure.
And you guys are into something that like many people don't have passions anymore.
No.
That's the one thing I've noticed too, like being like, so, I moved to Texas in 2019, and that's where I essentially, I guess you could say, did a restart on my life because, I started some different job stuff. I bought a house. I sold a house. I bought another house, so I
took your cars. I had this one for 12 months.
Except I actually made money on this and didn't lose
my
ass.
Good.
Except I didn't lose my ass on,
Good.
And, I saw the level of passion that this clown was putting into it. And it just like blew my mind. Like, I moved back in May of this year, Memorial Day weekend, and we were at Carlisle and just seeing the group together.
It was awesome.
And it was mostly him,
it was awesome.
I was planning my move back. I was going through some other stuff. I was just getting ready to plan my 1,500 mile move back to my home, making sure that everything in my house was, organized and everything was clean and ready for me to come back with the cats and just, pick up where I left off. Meanwhile, he's up here doing all the street scene stuff, right? And I was like at a point where I'm just like, you know what? I don't give a shit. Like, do what you gotta do, right? And then we're at Carlisle the one day. I think it was the second day because the first day was kind of a blur.
Alcohol's a hell of a drug.
It's always the first day's always a blur. Yeah, you need the second day to.
So is THC.
Yeah.
And
my man,
Uncle RSO showed up.
Rick Simpson.
Oh, he's a good man.
Yeah. I don't know anything about what he's talking about. I have no idea. Keep going.
I don't either. In Minecraft.
Yeah.
And
that I don't know.
Look it up. And I just see like it's crazy. Just everyone having a good time.
But it goes back to like,
and the one thing about me and him, and this kind of overlays everything about this, me and him fall into the nostalgia rabbit hole. So
Oh yeah.
and
Big
it brought
time.
us back. It brought me back.
The member berries.
It brought me back to 2012 when we first decided, like right when we first started, and we just saw like a couple groups of people from NEPA down there, and it's like, you know what, screw it, put the tents together, fly the banner, right?
Yeah.
we did that with Crowned. They are again a large car club in the area, and I know they've never gone to Carlisle, so I opened this invite of like, why don't you come down with us, park with us, but fly your flag. You know what I mean? Like, do you? But if they went down, say the 10 of them that went down separately, they'd have to pay for a tent. Or we have brought, once you get over 25 people, the tent's free.
Yeah.
But it's ongoing. Luckily, our past was so strong. When we came back, they still offered the free tent. So invited them down. They came down and had a blast. You know what I mean? Flew their club flag, did their thing, integrated more with us.
I got to go see
Oh,
that.
it's awesome.
Even if you just go to walk around.
Even if it's just Saturday
That's what
where
I'd
you
like to
come
do, yeah.
down, walk around, it's incredible.
Maybe I'll bring Rick Simpson down.
But they've been doing more, look at them. They've been doing more throwbacks to the JDM phase and stuff like that of 20 years ago. So when you tap into nostalgia, the scene's almost trying to bring back the nostalgia.
Yeah, but the reason
and then here's us still trying to like bring everybody together.
But you got to realize, like in the 80s, when we saw Corvettes from the 1950s, they were amazing. They're still amazing today.
100%.
Even in the 2020s. So that car is 60 years old.
Oh God. Yeah.
And you're like, it's still amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think nostalgia stuff like that.
I don't think
you
it
call it
fades.
nostalgia, but it's like when you look at like the streaming services for like TV and movies and stuff like that, you're like, oh man, The Office is still in the top 10. It must have nothing to do.
Watching it the other night.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like it's not that it's necessarily always nostalgic. It's like that's just better.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
You know what I mean?
And again, it's the environment, we create too of, again, no pressure, low impact. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's just a calming, hang out with us. Again, the biggest thing, like I've said several times, just shut your car off and hang out.
Yep.
But again, we're all talkative. We're all warm and welcoming. You know what I mean? It's not like it's modern muscle cars only. It's bring whatever
It's
you
everything.
want. Bring your Subaru, bring this. There's still the same baseline joy and passion behind it.
Yep.
Whether it's a Subaru, a Volvo, a Camaro, a Corvette, a Bugatti, it's all the same. What changes is the buy-in, but it's still the same passion of it means something to that person. And we always try to encourage that of like, well, come hang out. Because what makes you sell your car outside of a life-changing event? There's nothing to do. There's no car meets. This stinks. You sell it, or you don't buy one. Oh, there's nothing to do. It stinks. Well, I'm not buying it. So we're trying to provide that of keep it alive where bring your car out, give it a bath, go get reconnected for the week with it. Come out with us, meet other like-minded people. And Carlisle really always helped us with that. Always was a blast to start our car season, come hang out. And you got away from the house for 2 days.
What's that, May?
Yeah, 16th, 17th or 15th, 16th. It's always the second week. But it got you out of the area too. Stay overnight with everybody, hang out. We all went out to dinner together. Him and I were sitting at breakfast together. Like it was just a great 2-day bonding. You know what I mean? To get the club together, the crew together, but also invite others.
So you guys are gonna have to get used to this. But how do people find you?
I think Facebook's the biggest.
That's another thing I want to improve. Our online footprint is getting there. We're almost at 5,000 followers. I've been working heavily on Instagram since I do not have Facebook. But
Facebook is the sewer, but just like sewers, they're necessary.
Mm-hmm.
No, the sewer is Reddit.
Well,
Yeah.
Do you want to hear something crazy?
Yeah.
Do you know what source they use to train like 60% of ChatGPT?
Reddit.
And do you know who runs Reddit?
Mm-mm.
The intelligence agencies
Really?
down in Alabama.
Wow.
There's like a town in Alabama that has like the intelligence. I forget, the Army intelligence or something like that.
Wow.
And it only has like 1,000 people, but it has like 100,000 registered Reddit users. Look into it. It's crazy.
That is crazy.
So we're being taught, like we're teaching AI on fraudulent.
I have a perpetual ban from Reddit, no matter where I register from.
You and I should have known each other sooner. It seems like you're a pot stirrer.
I make an account on Reddit and it gets banned, even if I don't do anything, because I'll log in from like.
Were you an old school like troller and stuff?
Oh, we
school.
both
I still
were.
am.
We still are.
Are you
It's
really?
hard.
We both stopped.
We've matured, but it's hard for us. Like we always had meme
Like, do
wars.
people understand that? Like, see, this is one of the biggest things that like it took me to understand was that like trolling is basically like it is kind of like a friendly
around.
ribbing.
Yeah, it's joking around.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest with you, it's one thing that's hard today with the younger car generation. We
Are
have
they too
to
sensitive.
we have to
They
tread
are.
lightly because him and I, the meme wars we did
Look,
against
I'm sorry,
each other.
but they're gonna have to learn to toughen up.
But I
That's
tell you,
what it is.
Yeah.
but we do have a gentleman's agreement of like not making memes as much or doing. It's like we do it to each other, but if we can't go public,
Yeah, but
because
sometimes it's funny.
It is.
it's always funny.
You have
but
no idea.
Like you're never gonna be like
some of the
do-
bangers that
but
I sent
it
him.
makes
Do you know?
me-
Do you know? Do you know 100? Do you think there's people who dislike Dave Chappelle? They don't think he's.
Oh my,
funny.
100%. I loved. I
Right. So my point is like let it drop.
I mean,
The people who are gonna get mad are
you know
gonna
what
get mad.
gets you know what gets me upset though? If you can't take a joke online, it shows though you're not
You can't
hanging
take
out
a
with your
joke.
boys.
Yeah, you're not.
You're not with your boys having fun.
Nope.
Or you're in a bubble.
That's
Yes.
right. Like that's what's unfortunate, and we've learned this coming back to the scene is like we have made some jokes with others in the scene, and it didn't go well. It didn't.
but
It didn't.
It did.
So we really
It
had
did.
to be like, you know what? Not
Like,
everybody.
Who gets mad about that?
We had a few. So we had to dial back just joking around. We had to. And it's
Dude,
unfortunate,
once-
but we have on this comeback, we've had to limit, if it's our old crew, they understand our personality.
I think.
But we love to stir the pot.
I think we're heading towards there again. I think the pendulum is swinging to a place where
I hope.
you can break somebody's.
But-
Look, when I was growing up, like I never fucking saw racism. I don't know what anybody's talking about, but what I did see is the Italians not liking the Irish
Sure.
not liking the Polish, and everybody hated each other.
Yeah.
And then every now and again, like my grandfather was an Irish guy, like a hardcore Irish guy living in West Side. And I didn't realize this about St. Anne Street, but like the quadrants around the monastery
Oh my God.
were different ethnicities.
Oh, they are. Yeah.
Right. So
Wow.
so my
That's my old
my
stomping
grandfather
grounds.
had Polish friends, but the only time they can come over is at night when they walk down the alley.
Oh
so
my
no one would
gosh.
see them.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? So like this tribalism bullshit happens, but when they see each other, oh, you guinea bastard, oh, you wop, like
That's how me and him are. Like,
Yeah,
he,
like-
he busts my
You
ass
have to.
every single. He was busting my ass this morning.
100%
it was, you know,
was.
but you know what it was? It was the Dave Chappelle. He was making trans jokes, and there was he tells this story about this trans woman that was in the audience, and she stuck around at the end, and she said to him, she's like, I'm trans, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, yeah, I'm, if I offended it, she goes, no, she goes, the fact that you're making fun of me lets me know that I'm welcome.
That's awesome.
And that's, I think, what we got to get back to is like breaking people's balls
Yeah.
to let. It's a term of endearment.
But it's
sometimes.
also like a camaraderie. You know what I
Sure.
mean? Like it's again, you're one of us. Like
You're in the
it's-
military. You think you're politically correct on a
100%.
battlefield?
And also though, like just because I make a joke at you of something, you could send one back.
Here, what did George? What did?
But these other guys wouldn't send one back or just get involved. So
it's because they're gay.
it's tough. It is.
Christ.
All right, where's the? I just shared this on Instagram, and it's like, man, if this guy was here right now, it'd be amazing. Political correctness is fascism pretending to be manners. From George Carlin.
Oh my gosh.
I love George Carlin.
I don't think he would have survived right now.
No.
Could
in this climate?
Could you imagine if he
No.
was alive though? Could you imagine how funny he would be?
I don't know which side he'd be on. Hopefully he'd be on neither.
Yeah.
All of his stuff has been basically, if you're right, you're an asshole. If you're left, you're an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope he would
some of
dish
his
it out
stuff-
both ways and
some
just
of, when I do my drives between Scranton and Dallas, that's all I listen to. I listen to all of his skits from the 70s all the way up until his last one before he
I
died.
got to rewatch his last one.
His last one is hilarious.
I don't think
Yeah,
I
but
saw his
people,
last
a lot
one.
of people said like, oh, it was really dark. And I'm like,
don't
and then
think
I
I
saw
saw
like
it.
a joke from it the other day. I'm like, wait, that wasn't dark. He was
Every
telling
time
the truth.
I fly once every 3 to 4 weeks. Every time I fly, I have to listen to airline announcements.
Oh yeah. You don't get on. You don't get on the plane. You get in the plane.
Evil
Yeah.
Knievel get on the plane.
Yeah.
Changing airline equipment. Broken plane.
Yeah.
It's like stuff like that.
It because he understood words and how they
But,
could
like,
how they
but no, I
how they
mean-
didn't hurt.
But like people bust each other's asses in this scene. Like people, I understand that like we're close to each other, but like I mentioned before that I can't drive a stick. That has been the ongoing joke.
Means you're straight
for 15 years.
Well, think of Doc, who's on our team. Like, he's got several cars on jack stands for years. The jack stand joke is as old as his drive a stick joke.
Yeah, but that joke goes back to my dad.
And he's good with it. Like, Doc loves it, rolls it off.
Like, you gotta be okay with like your bullshit. Like, you have to.
You could give it back.
Everybody is gonna have something that they can be made fun of for, unless it's something like.
And if you can't,
like,
fuck off.
You're not gonna make fun of You're not gonna make fun of somebody for
I've made fun of people with disabilities.
No.
To their face, and they loved it.
Well, I mean, that's not something that
there was a guy. I was at a wedding,
but it's to their face though. Like, so it's not like you're not hiding or
I was at a wedding,
making a fake account.
I was at a wedding, right? This was maybe a year or two ago. This dude, he's friends with the bride and the groom. Shows up. He's a quadriplegic, right? So he's got the and everything, right?
Oh boy,
nicest fucking guy in the world, right? And I'm out back of the wedding, and I'm smoking my medically approved, governor approved, state approved. And he rolls out and he goes, he's like, "Oh, you're gonna share that?" And
wow.
I'm like, "Yo, really?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I'm like, I said, "Give me a second. I need to sit down." He goes, "Why?" I said, "I don't know why this was a bucket list thing for me." I'm like, but I've always wanted to smoke fucking pot with a cripple.
So do I put it in your mouth or?
I put it. Yes, I did it. We laughed our asses off. We had so much fun. He was the nicest guy. His wife is fucking gorgeous and awesome. Like, you have to be okay with it.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be like, if you're the short person in the group, you're gonna get short person, and it means that people like you. It's when you stop making fun of people that
you got a problem.
When they should be nervous.
If you've only seen some of our group messages, I mean, the NSA is watching them.
Fuck them.
Gotta be.
Yeah, gotta be.
Gotta be.
The NSA is watching all 5 of the group messages that me and you were in that are essentially the same exact thing.
We lost the camera again. God damn it. Okay, we gotta go.
Yeah, we gotta wrap it up.
All right, I'm gonna end you in a wide shot, just because you're amazing. Where can people find you?
Facebook,
NEPA Street Scene?
Facebook.com/NEPA Car Scene, because NEPA Street Scene was taken for some reason.
And that's Facebook.
That's Facebook, yeah. Our Instagram tag is NEPA_Street Scene.
Okay.
And
what's TikTok?
I don't really use
I think it's NEPA Street. We haven't used TikTok much. We're going to start more. And that's what we're hoping with doing stuff with this here with you. Yeah. We could start creating more reels. Again, saying to get into car shows, the biggest hope I had for 26 was outside of this was, I'd love to see Jeff get up here more and do more in person. So
yeah, TikTok is just at NEPA Street Scene. We do have a Linktree page. It's just link.
No, just like every other OnlyFans.
Yeah,
wink,
you can
wink.
Subscribe to the NEPA Street Scene OnlyFans.
Do you pay for the Linktree or is it free?
We pay for it because it's what you get is just the way that you can format it is just so much nicer.
What does it doesn't verify them too? It allows us to verify and stuff like that.
That's on the specific pages themselves, but you get the formatting. So TikTok is just NEPA Street Scene.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a Snapchat that we're working on. It's also NEPA Street Scene. So I'm trying to cover all the bases here. NEPAstreetscene.com will be live soon. YouTube. But if you pretty much just Google NEPA Street Scene,
it's going to come up
all in one word, or in double quotes, you'll find us.
I mean, Facebook's the largest I've been using for events. If we're going to car shows, we're gathering people.
It's like the repository for
everything. It is the easiest to do.
And Facebook and Instagram essentially link back to everything. Once we do decide to start streaming weekly, hopefully, which is soon, I also do want to venture into Twitch territory, so we'll be streaming on Twitch as well. So I want to cover all platforms with that.
I think we have a Twitch.
That's kind of like I guess you could say a stay tuned thing. 2026 plan. Got to put more thought cycles into that.
But we're still on track with, again, working with you, working on the podcast for the car community. Sonic is still going to happen. Montage, the shops at Montage. I still have to talk to Eric, but I believe that's still going to be on board. So if anybody's following our Facebook, you're going to see all these events come up. But Sonic's on board. Hopefully the shops. The car show, again, Driven to Duty, right? Like October 4th, that's coming 100% at Toyota. But the best to find us would be Toyota, not Toyota Scranton, would be Facebook. That's going to be the best.
Did you think time flew, guys? See how much time?
Really flew.
Jeez, yeah.
It was over 2.5 hours.
That was insane.
Right? It goes fast, doesn't it?
I had a blast.
It seems
like I've done podcasts that were an hour and a half that felt like they were 5 hours. And this one
This
blew
was
by.
insane.
Yeah. I'm happy you guys had a good time.
I had a blast.
Thank
I really
you
did.
so
This-
much.
And
this
did it get you more comfortable? Maybe you could,
leaps and bounds.
yeah.
Yeah.
This broke the
It's
shell.
Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, man.
This broke the shell. So I
be
think,
imperfect.
I think now I might even be able to start doing, because I mean, outside of NEPA Street Scene, I do want to eventually do my own stuff.
You should.
But I want to focus. I don't want to focus on cars. I want to focus on tech stuff. I want to do. You mentioned a great analogy, channels. I want to do one that's tech stuff.
Yeah.
And I want to do one that's mental health stuff, because I'm a huge mental health advocate. Probably.
We'll talk about that off camera.
I want to, please. That's my second passion in life. Well, cars is actually like my third or fourth passion, if believe it or not. My cats are number one.
My number one is tits.
Yeah, no, yeah,
Still there.
tits are
I can
number
only
one.
talk about it for 4 minutes, though. I'm
Yeah.
screwed.
But I'm there.
Tits, yeah.
Jeff, Joe, thank you guys for
Thank
being
you.
here. Thank you for being awesome. Thank you for
Yeah.
doing what you do, and thank you for giving back.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
man.
And thanks for being awesome Americans, and thank you for your service.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely,
Thanks for
buddy.
doing this. I mean,
Yeah,
I appreciate
anytime,
you
man.
taking time today.
I appreciate
This
it.
is great.
We made it.
We made it.
Yay.
First time.